Now I think I'm here. All right.
Hear you fine, Eddie.
And one.
Hello, all from Missouri.
Hey, Missouri, how you doing?
Not too bad. A little chilly here today, but not too bad.
It's cold here now. It's down to 70 right now.
Wow, you went that low today?
Yeah, well, that's what it says I got right now.
You probably have a sweater on then if you go outside.
Hey, I'll have to put a Parker on.
Yeah. I mean, we were at we didn't set a high today, just went to 82. Not making fun of where you folks were at. That's okay. Wait 5 minutes. I'm in New Orleans. Wait 5 minutes, that weather will change like that.
Are you guys complaining about the warm air or what? You could
No,
be here
but
in Wisconsin.
No, but this weekend the humidity is going to come back. We'll probably drop into the low humidity of 64, 65%. I mean, that's low humidity for us.
I've had 2 days without a snowstorm, and we're supposed to get one tonight.
Whoa.
2 whole days, huh?
Yeah, now they're talking freezing rain and 3 to 5 inches of snow by tomorrow morning.
Wow.
So how's Australia doing? What kind of temperature you got down there?
Oh, I got a lovely 24 degrees because I got the heater on. It's supposed to be summer, but summer hasn't arrived yet.
Mm.
Oh,
You
we're
guys are-
on spring.
Donald, you guys are going into fall right now, aren't you?
Yeah. In a couple of weeks we go into autumn,
Yes.
but we haven't had a summer.
Wow.
I think we've had 3 hot days.
Mm.
You get to travel around this globe, boy, you are amazed or shocked by the weather, by the differences in weather. I mean, I went from serving in Michigan, upper Michigan, to Guam in 2 days, and went from the wind chill being about 12 or 14 degrees below to where we were working at was 83 degrees above. And if you think it's shocking, I guess about half of the troops that went over there were sick for the next week. A lot of jet lag, I imagine, but also nobody could be handled that. It was awkward. It was.
Our bodies don't handle that well, do they?
No.
I did the opposite. I left Sydney on a nice hot summer day in shorts and a t-shirt. And 2 hours before I left, I arrived in LA with snow on the ground.
Wow. Mm.
Well, right now they're pretty close to snow on the ground at LAX. Go up the hills a little bit and there is lots.
Yes.
People have been
unusual.
locked in for almost 3 weeks, 4 weeks now up in the Big Bear area and near LA.
Yeah.
Eddie, have you gotten word that Dane's not going to be with us tonight?
Yeah, I saw that just a moment ago.
Okay.
I'm a little reserved on my communication right now, but
Dane's
I
not gonna
just-
be with us tonight?
No.
Oh, no.
what is she? Is she
I'll handle
cooking dinner
gallery.
or what? What's on for dinner? Wait,
Am I supposed to do the demo tonight?
no, dinner, not dinner.
No, I don't care about dinner. I gotta do the demo tonight and Dane's not even gonna be here?
You are.
Wait,
I thought he was telling me a while ago Billy was.
Oh,
I did
that'd be
too.
great, I don't know. He told me last week that he double scheduled. He wanted me to do it this week instead of last.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
He told me Billy was gonna do it too when I talked to him Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
Looks like we got 2 demos.
Do what?
Looks like we've got 2 demos.
Hey, I got nothing wrong with that. I got nothing wrong with that. Okay.
No.
I don't think mine's going to be very long anyway. So if we can do 2, we'll do 2 then.
There you go.
All right then.
We'll see if Billy
Which,
pops in.
I've got my phone and my iPad on. Are you, what are you guys seeing?
I'm seeing a
I see.
phone and an iPad. I made you co-host on one, I guess probably your phone.
Huh. It's me.
Yeah, I'm seeing you right this minute.
Well, they're
I think Brenda's got to be cooking us dinner with that chef's outfit on.
Yeah.
Hey, did you buy that with the sleeves cut? Because I got them, and we're gonna have to cut the sleeves because they're down to my wrist, and I don't think.
Yeah. No, the sleeves. Can you see this?
Yeah,
It's down past my elbow.
but I mean, did you cut them to that length or did?
No.
Oh, okay. Because the one that I bought, I think from the same place, they were the full length sleeve,
Huh.
and
I got the
I'm
short sleeve one.
gonna cut them about that same length and then tuck it under and seam it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to hem mine up or something because it's way too long and hangs down too far and it catches on everything.
Huh.
Eat some more ice cream.
No. I'm big enough.
All right. So what hangs down and catches?
My sleeve, man.
Oh, that's why the gods gave us masking tape.
Okay, well, I could do
Rubber
that.
bands. Rubber band.
Yep. There
Oh,
you
that's
go. There you go.
Right. I could tape it up.
Well, that
Yeah, I
was
wanna
in my
solve-
shop. Go on, Eddie.
Y'all want to solve that mystery about who's doing a demo? Because I see him here now.
Okay.
We talked about it 5 minutes ago. Dane's not with us tonight. He's ill. And Dane told 2 or 3 of us that Billy Dillard's doing the demo. And then Brenda says she's doing a demo. All right, gang. We don't have any problem with this. Which one?
Both.
Both.
What you gonna demo, Brenda?
My duplicator.
We hadn't seen like that before. That might be cool.
Can you see that?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's got my vote.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned before you wanted to see how it was made and how it was put together because you wanted to make one.
Yeah. Did you? That was my next question. Did you make that?
No, I did modify it just a little bit because there wasn't enough room in the middle of it for my tailstock.
Okay.
So I did cut it, the middle of it out a little bit, I guess. But
Well,
other than
I'll
that,
be
no, I didn't make
I'll
it.
be fascinated. I'll be fascinated.
Yeah.
I
My
built one a
goal is-
long time ago, and when I was and on my long vacation, they cleaned up my shop. They thought those buckets with the coring rig and that and a couple others were scrap iron.
Oh no.
It went away. They also took 400 feet of ornamental fence because they didn't think I'd ever get back to putting it up. But you know, I lived before, and I'm still cooking now, so I'm all right.
You're cooking
Hey,
with
you can
gas,
always.
right?
What's that, Matt?
I was going to say you could always buy more ornamental fence.
Yeah. It's the other stuff that I made myself. I was so proud. I mean, I made some coring pieces, and then I bought a one-way. And what really broke my heart is that one-way core. I mean, I was back a couple of months and went back out in the shop and said, "Where's all these buckets?" Oh, we got rid of that with scrap iron. You know.
They should have asked you, Eddie.
Well, at that time, I didn't know who I was, who, what was happening, but I justifiably, they didn't think I was ever going to bounce back. So,
You bounced
they were
back. You did
dealing.
it.
Yeah. It's,
You're
it's
looking
great.
good, man.
I'm feeling all right. I still have that PTSD thing going on, but it is not uncontrollable. It just makes me very aware of just how good normal life would be. That's how I have to say it, normal life. When you don't have these feelings and situations that become overwhelming. It's reduced my social activity. I mean, I can't go to discos or anything anymore. But it preclude, wife needed to go to the mall today and she tagged me along. And I found a nice comfy couch and sat there watching YouTubes on my phone. Oh, I got that, I don't know where they are. I got that rig that, that kit that Dane was talking about last week. Those headphones. Yeah, earbuds. And that's the earbuds he was talking about. I was
Yeah.
fascinated because they actually hook over my ear.
Yes, they will not
And-
fall off. Are they noise canceling, Eddie?
I don't know if the more noise, my wife asked me the same thing. And I yesterday I came in, I took them out of the box, I put them on, I clipped on my telephone to Pandora, and I sat here for a few minutes in the living room. She said I was sleeping in 2 minutes. Because I had no outside sounds
Oh, yeah.
to confuse me. And today I'm sitting in the mall watching all the ladies go by in at the cosmetic departments and all that, and I had that earbud in. 2 or 3 people talked to me as they went by. I have no idea what they said. Just smile and nod, But I picked up that $30-something, just like Dane said. My wife teased me about it. They come pink. Did you have choices? No, I'd take this if it glowed in the dark. It was a lifesaver because I spent a couple of years wearing headsets for my Walkman when we went out to restaurants and all. It just got to be funny. If there's a TV or a radio on in a room, I can't hear you. If you talk to me, I can't hear you. My brain goes there and locks on. In restaurants.
I also have that problem, Eddie, and I have high-end hearing loss, measurable high-end hearing loss. So background noises like TVs and people talking in a restaurant, it washes out everything people say. I can't hear when that happens.
I'll bet.
The restaurant's what gets me.
Yep.
I hear every conversation in a room. And I wear my earplugs when we go to the PT because a lot of people are our age, and they all have these medical problems, and they all want to share with each other what they are. I can't be listening to that stuff. It fries me off. So I get my little green earplugs and plug them in, and then you got to do smile and nod when they talk to you. But some old lady yesterday was talking about how she had her husband's elbow replaced and she had her hip replaced and her son's getting a new knee and all. My wife said, I don't need to hear that. I don't have that degree and all that stuff. I mean, it might be a nice casual conversation for some folks, but you got to wonder what you say when you say it and how you say it. So we had a good demonstration with Brent tonight, that duplicator. Glad to see we're going to have that worked out. I'm working on the format right now, and I've got it pretty close. I went back and reviewed a lot of the meetings on our website. You know the website, the world's greatest wood turning website. Yeah, that's the one. And I looked at the videos and started seeing how things progressed meeting to meeting. And boy, over the last 3 years, they've really changed. But I was looking at to get some kind of idea where we want to where we may want to place things. Working on that. Dane and I worked this weekend and last week on the stickers, the club stickers. And I have a little something on that also this evening. We're close. We're really close. Dane's done a great job shopping on his end. I mean, look, I have samples from my end. That's the company sample. That's not our sticker. But that's one of those cutout stickers. This is not the product. Yeah, okay. It's cut out. Ours will be a circle, if agreed. And last week we had you vote on if you would be acceptable to a proposal that we do stickers. And we're going to probably take it to the next level. I'm going to explain that a little bit later on. I got a sort of a PowerPoint thing. It's can't make a PowerPoint, but it's a screen. Don't want to overcomplicate things, but we have to be careful about expenditures and income and what may be profit on this type of thing. See, we don't really have a thing, but I got approached by one of the members. Will I have some available for us to pass out at SWAT? When we go to SWAT this year? I said, yes. Well, yeah, my plan is somehow we're going to have some that we approach somebody that we don't believe is a member. We can hand them and say, we want you to join us. We want you to come to the meeting. And same thing with getting club members to belong to the meeting, come to the meeting. We really want to push that harder. And I'm asking you to help because you're in those clubs. Tell you, club, we're here. Doug Rowe. It is not a careful subject to speak about Doug Rowe because you never know what he's up to. But Doug got a hold of his club and he had a mention placed in his club's newsletter about worldwide wood turners and what we're doing and how you can join and all this. And yeah, Doug, you paved the good road there. I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see more of our members stepping up and saying, I belong to Buffalo Bills wood turners. I don't think they really have that. And I'm going to ask Buffalo Bills to put a note in there. We're not competing with their club. And I had a hard time with my local club here. When I told them over 3 years ago about this project, some guy said, why are you doing that to compete with the club? I'm not. You meet once a month. And it was just about the time the pandemic started. You meet once a month, have a little family gathering, a little BS, a little demo, a little gallery and all. But if a person like me right now, I can't drive. If I didn't have transportation to go to a meeting that is 60 miles from my home, I wouldn't see one. Now, they also have the technology the way they can broadcast that TV. They can go to Zoom. They go to Zoom right now and put it up there. I've thrown all those questions at them, and we kept coming back to this right here. Well, our members are paying for the meeting. It wouldn't be fair if we shared it with everybody. So from now on, don't share this, okay? It's why we're here. It's why I got the brain idea, the brain cramp to start this thing. It's because there are no secrets. I mean, Brenda's doing our demonstration tonight. Brenda, I'm being nice about this. Okay. When we first met Brenda, and now why she is nicknamed Band-Aid Brenda, it is because, yeah, Brenda would say, look, I did this thing. There's only 2 Band-Aids. And she was a novice turner. I don't say beginning, a novice turner. Yeah. And look, she's doing a demonstration for us tonight. We have a lot of members like that. And it all there are no secrets to this. None at all. Don't anybody believe there is.
Anybody can do it.
Well, I think it's so cool, Brenda, that you're in your shop prepared to do the demo tonight. And I think that chef's coat looks great. And it's all good, man. I'm with Eddie.
Yeah.
It's fun
I
to
can't
see.
wait to taste the barbecue. That's what I'm waiting.
I didn't even cook nothing tonight. I got chicken from the grocery store.
I'm hoping the boss pops back in with something nice. we took care of her elder dad and his friends for a high school reunion lunch. They now do every month because they losing members. They're all in their upper 80s, lower 90s. They're losing members. So we take him over to Bud, enjoy it, visit with his friends, and it's so nice. I mean, when we riding with him and his buddies were sharing stories about where they used to go and restaurants and roads that didn't go anywhere because we were in New Orleans for a little bit, and that is a trip. But yeah, it was so good to be with him. But we couldn't squeeze a meal in during that day. And one of the guys riding with us today, he was talking about the crime in the city because we only went through a little part of the city. I'm not real big for cutting through the city. And he says, I think it's really cool that all the crime problems they have in New Orleans, that they're going to take $16 million and light up the overpass, the bridges that go across the river. And he said, that'd be nice. They're going to put a sign up and all that. You can come see these beautiful bridges. Wear your Kevlar because you might get killed. We're leading the nation in murders. Yes. It's, and that's not one of those things that you really want to be proud of. A guy saw somebody trying to steal his car last night, got out his gun, went out and shot at him. They arrested him today because you can't use deadly force to protect your property. So
That's a shame. You can do that here. A couple of years ago, our chief of police held a news conference and said, this guy in Detroit, and he said, we don't have police coverage for the whole city anymore. We can't afford it. We don't have enough police. He says, we've got some strong castle laws here in Michigan, and I strongly encourage people to protect themselves, buy a firearm, protect themselves, especially carjackings. 6 months later, no carjackings.
Isn't that something? We're almost leading the nation in car thefts now too. When they talk about,
my favorite story was some 80-year-old grandmother had a home invasion going on in the middle of winter, and she laid out 5 of these people. The last one was in the middle of her backyard, but 2 of them were in her door and just plowed them under. And it's, our crime has really dropped a lot since that sort of policy change. So it's interesting.
I don't really endorse vigilantism or would that be, but really it's mine. What makes you think you should be able to take it? It's right. Pretty darn simple, isn't it?
Well, you ought to be able to protect yourself and your property from theft and violence,
Yeah.
With violence if necessary.
Yep.
Yeah. That old saying, what's just is just. Yes. But it's made for an interesting life around here. I need to go to a different Lowe's to get something in my garden, and we're probably gonna make a road trip north because the one that they tell us got it's over on the other side of New Orleans. But hey, we got a lot of things happening right now. I put out a promo earlier in the week. Might have been the end of last week. I apologize. I get a little flippy. But put a promo. Now, doing that, I was going to our Facebook page and capturing the images that are being placed on our Facebook page, Worldwide Woodturners. And I would use those photographs plus the ones you emailed me. Well, got to be careful. You can't talk bad about Google. They'll turn us off. Google put me on this suite thing, SUITE, and said that, you can get all these pluses and all that by being in a suite. Well, after I got charged for it a couple of times, I got to thinking, nobody's coming to wash the car for me or nothing. I mean, I don't know what I'm getting out of this. So I canceled it. When I canceled it, all my emails got locked out. all of them. It took me about 2 days with the phone and everything else to go in and delete every single email one at a time that was in all the accounts in order to get the accounts to work again. So my account is working again, but as a safety, if you post it on our Facebook page, I get it, but that guy that does the newsletter, he gets it too. Yeah, Dave Rose does. So if you've got something to share like that, you can just go to the Facebook page. You can email it to Dave also through our website, and that's welcome. But that's where websites where we put all the gallery photos to share what you've done. And I tell you, the work I see there, wow, y'all blow me away with some of this stuff. We have some new members we haven't known for a while, and they have come up with some really, really unique stuff. Enzio Palladino, I believe it is. He posts something every week. I wonder how I can do it every week. It looks like it'd take me a month to turn that piece. But very talented people showing a lot of art, a lot of creativity, and that's what we're looking for. We have some challenges going on. Hey, I could do that right now. Let me see something. Sharing screen, club challenges. Boom. Did it come up?
Yep.
Yes, it did.
All right. I don't see it on my proof monitor, but we have some challenges coming up, and that we keep losing contact on the other one. March 15th, and I can't read these. March 15th, we have the one about gnomes, and that's going to be a fun one. A gnome, and remember, there are no rules about gnomes, because no matter how nice or goofy they look, they're still a gnome, and it's still a great turning practice. Somebody the other day emailed me a picture, one that had the wig like what Matt turned, and then it had a skirt under the wig. And I mean, it really got creative on it. And the explanation for the two things was he couldn't find the wig hair long enough to cover the piece he turned. So he just figured, over the hell, I got a red one and a white one and a red one and a yellow one and all this. Cool. It's a place to get creative and you have a lot of fun with. So we had that coming up.
Arguably, the goofier the better.
Right. No rules. April 5th, we're going to do Easter eggs. It's time for Easter eggs. And my internet dropped back out on that laptop again. But you can see them. That's what we're going to do for the rest of the year. And I got the boss, my manager, agreed to give me some of her jewelry so we could talk about the jewelry we're making. And I really am anxious to do that jewelry thing because it's not the end result. It's getting to the end result. How do you hold a ring? How do you hold an earring? How do you make a brooch? How do you make a bracelet? All those things. And a lot of those holding and jigging tips can be valuable in all your other turnings. Really. I've seen some unique looking segment at work where he had a circular segment with long tabs on it. In order to center it on the bowl, he drilled a hole with a forcing bit off center. And then when he put them together, he rotated those off centers. You talk about look weird, really. And if he took it a further step, I didn't want to correct him, if he took it a further step and sliced those layers on a slight angle, or ran through a power planer on a slight, or power sander at a slight angle, and changed the heights from one side to the other, man, that would have been a brain hurt. And really, it would have been beautiful. But as it is, that was a unique technique. Now, is it worth anything? Yes. It's how you hold the wood, how you get to it and turn it, the detailing and all. And that's really what we're looking for. Heather says she's turning towards a one-way. Uh-huh. All right, Heather. Uh-huh. I think I love Heather being into a one-way.
Talking about Chuck's.
Yeah.
Oh, Chuck, she was talking about Chuck's. Oh, man. Okay, Heather, you're still on my good side. So we're without Dane tonight. Do I have somebody that'll handle a gallery for us? It can't be Brenda. Brenda can help us in the beginning, but who's that?
Yep, Doug Miller's doing it.
Doug got it. All right.
It's well in hand, Eddie.
All right. That's what we do, folks. There's no hierarchy in this group. There's just a bunch of wood turners sitting on a tailgate visiting. And I look forward to seeing what's out there. It's about, according to Doug's clock, it's about 8 minutes after the top of the hour. If you'd like to show something tonight on gallery, just go to the chat. That's where it's at. Go to the chat and put in, I have something to show. And Doug Miller will introduce you. When Doug says, hi, let's go to Gary in Oklahoma City. Not yet, Gary. Go to Gary in Oklahoma City. Gary, start talking. Because he's got to go through the whole screen and pick out that little square that's got your picture on it in order to spotlight you. So that's what we do. And I really want to see what you're turning. Let me do this for a second. I just realized that something I ate a couple of days ago. There it is, cleared up. I got it on the screen. So if you have something to show, step up and say, you got a question? You know, we do that at this time. This is the, I don't want to call it the BS session. This is the session where you can ask questions, show things, have a problem or whatever. That's what we do here. So if you've got something, pop in. Trying to get back. I'm going to get reloaded on my proof screen. Right. Oh, I had word this week and I couldn't get the names up today. If I get this name wrong, I apologize. Emilio out of Hawaii. Emilio,
I know.
really good term. Who?
This is Randy. Yes, Emilio did a demonstration in IRD for our wood turning club about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Yeah, he demonstrated making what do you call them? Watches, Dutchman, and
wow.
also making calabash bowls.
Yep. Yeah, that's something he does. Yep.
Yeah, his work is really unique. He's going to be on a top list at SWAT this year, and there's a couple others. I'm terrible at names right now, but looks like you're getting a good lineup put together, and you can join them. You can join us at SWAT, and I say us because I got the boss pretty much tucked into it. I'm pricing out hotels, airfare, dog kennel, because she said, well, let's bring the dog with us, not on the airline. Because that's a puddle jumper out in New Orleans. But it's going to be the last weekend in August, as always. Great lineup. A lot of the vendors that come back. They had avoided it for 2 years because of the pandemic. If you can't pay your rent, you can't go. And if you can only pay your rent, why would you go? So they're going to bounce back, and I'm glad to see that. Because it's a great shopping trip. It is. I mean, don't bring spare money. It won't be spare when you get back. It'll be gone because you'll see some of the most unique things. And it's better than shopping through a catalog because you not only get to handle it, you can probably walk over to somebody and use it. A couple of years ago, I was trying to talk to a guy about a scraper for doing the inside of bowls. And I went over to Tim Yoder, the miniature wood turner, Tim. I went over to his booth and said, Tim, can I show this guy? Oh yeah, go ahead. You know, and same thing when we got over by JT Tools. You want to see how coring and hollowing was going? There you go. You know, and that's what you get to do around there. Robust does a really great display. And they'll talk to you about what your needs are, what they can provide, and they take ideas from you also. And that's what I like about it is it's not restrictive. If I want to go talk to the demonstrator before the demo or after the demo, hey, it's open. It's not like I'm a demonstrator, you can't bother me. I don't think anybody has done that. And the place is ran
Hey,
by wood turners. Yes, ma'am.
Who else did you say was going to do a demo tonight?
Well, we got Billy Dillard, but I don't know if he's on tap for tonight. Billy?
Well, I was, and you said Barbara was doing it. So I
Let's
put
work
my
this
motor home back inside, and I picked up all my stuff I had loose outside, and I came inside and I sat down in front of my computer.
Oh, okay. I thought we was both going to then.
Okay.
Well,
We're gonna do a duplicator video, so I'm ready for a duplicator video.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of things lined up. I'll be, when y'all need me in the future, I'm ready to go. So
Okay. Dane Chandler normally lines that up for us. He's not feeling well tonight. Back the other day, he said he was going to do something about the stickers if he felt better. So, and I don't push.
That's not good.
No hierarchy. I'm not going to push. I got some things to talk about when we get to that item at the update. Start to say is right now I'm planning out a format. I've got a 6:45 p.m. Central. That's in about 30 minutes to do a news and update. And that would be each week we would cover the things that we need to bullet point and touch on for the members. And it's all for the members. There's no commercial time. There's nobody. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. No, that won't happen. And we're going to do news and updates. And then I'd like to, and I told this to Dane a couple of weeks ago, I'd like it if we could pop in a mini demo in the last hour of the program, the meeting. A little mini, maybe 10 minutes on something. If you got a particular way, well, Dane started it. He said he had a way to color things and dye things. And boom, then we did one. Those little mini demos may be good. And we'll pop them in right middle gallery. And, one's going to lead to another and another and another. So I'm all for getting more information out there, sharing it. What I got lined up, we're going to do gallery and chat, mini demos, safety. Sue. Is Sue with us tonight yet?
Yes, I am.
All right. Didn't see that, dear. How are you?
Hey, Miss Sue.
Okay.
hi, Sue.
Hi there. How you doing? Your smock looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
And good
So
for
wait till
you.
you taste the barbecue. The barbecue's great, Sue.
I was hoping for Italian. Verona.
Pass the meatballs.
Good.
That's
Hey,
right.
Brenda.
Hi, Cade.
Hey, Sue, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Safety Sue?
Well, you
If
can
you get hurt,
Or-
she'll contact you.
or you can call me, but the best way is email me. Have you got my
Okay. Yeah, I got your info.
Okay.
I
And
want to get together. I want to get together with you about the demo I'm going to do at the end of the month. Let's do a safety thing that correlates with the demo that I'm doing.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yes.
I like-
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I'll get a hold of you in the next week or so.
Sounds good.
Hey, members, here's the scoop. We don't have a membership list. We don't have a roster. Remember, we're so loose, it's unfunny. But if you like to share your contact information, the world's greatest webmaster, Dave Rhodes, will take the information you place in chat. What information? Well, at least put your name. But if you don't put your name, your address, a city, state, phone number, website, address, Facebook page, whatever you want to share with our membership goes into that item right there. And Dave will take it, put her on our member contact list. When you go to the message board on our website, you'll see the little thing that says member list. And you click on that, fill it out exactly as it dictates. And then you'll receive within moments, you'll receive a copy, the updated copy of the contact list. And please feel free to contact anybody that goes on there. Just now, Scott said, I need to talk to Brenda about such and such. Brenda, do you have my email address? It's on the contact list. You see? And that's how we can communicate. I don't think we're going to go any more formal than that. Oh, have you seen it? We do have a barter page. We have a barter page on our website, and I am looking to relieve myself of some equipment that I can no longer use. And I've had a couple of guys say, just let me know and I'll pay for the shipping, mail it to me. That is something I will do, and not all of it. That's a big truck. But when I do get these things put together, I'll be taking photographs. I'll add them to the website. And probably what I'm going to do is just that. I'm going to send it to you and we can barter, or we'll find out some other way. But it's not to outright sell things. No, I don't want, if we do that, we may pick up some liability. And I don't want anybody to get hurt over anything. So gallery items, folks, do you have anything to show?
We got, excuse me, we got 2 or 3 here.
Let's
How about
go.
we go let's go to Paul Hannaby. Paul, you still there?
Wow, all the way over to
Evening or morning, whichever. Couple of small things to show you. I thought they might be of interest. So nothing spectacular or substantial, but just some small things. I was sent this. It's a quadrant molding off a piece of antique furniture. I was asked to make 8 of them. So the way I did it was this. So it's four square pieces of wood glued together, but you glue them with white glue and paper. So you need to get them fairly well aligned. That was one piece of, or one length of wood originally. So I cut it into 4 quadrants like that, used white glue and paper to join them, and then turn that as one complete piece, and then split down the joints with a knife. So I got my 8 quadrants just from turning the one piece of wood. I've got 8 of these.
Those are great, Paul. When you do these, do you stain them or do you give them to the customer to stain?
They will color it to suit. So I've just got to make these and send it up, and they'll color those. Those are made out of oak. And for the same person but another piece of furniture, I was sent the darker colored one and asked to make 14 of them. So that's one of the 14 I've just made today to match that one. But again, the customer will stain those. Those are for a bookcase, I think. And he also asked me to make these. Just a little pin to go in the side of I think it's for a bookcase to support the shelves. And there's a series of holes, and you could put those in any one of a number of holes up the side of the bookcase to adjust the shelf position. So fairly simple turn in, but again, repetition. I like to make a few of those. There are 14 of those as well. So that kept me busy this afternoon.
Yeah.
I need a duplicator for that.
Boy, Sue, you stole my thought.
But I thought for those who haven't come across the split turning technique before, I thought you might like to see it.
Yeah.
Is that a prison shirt?
Pardon?
Is that a prison shirt?
The shirt you're wearing.
Is that a prison shirt?
Yeah, you're wearing a striped shirt. Looks like a prison.
No, it's just
I've never on it too.
a random shirt, but yeah, looks like I've just escaped, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it, sir. Beautiful work. Paul is in the UK, and he's one of our many members from out of the United States because we are worldwide. Where do we go now, Doug?
Okay, how about Dennis Morgan?
Dennis,
you got
you're
for
on
us,
deck.
Hi, everybody.
Howdy.
I've been busy this week. Made a birdhouse, hummingbird house,
Sweet.
made it out of oak. And the top is made out of a piece of elm. So,
Does the top come off?
no, I watched a gentleman turn them on YouTube and they're glued on. They're more of a decoration than anything. But I figured I'd try it and it worked out pretty well.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice.
Then I've never turned a goblet, so I made one the other day. Didn't turn out too bad. I know it's a little thicker than it should be, but the pith runs down the center. So it was just a piece of ash that I had. So
Love that green.
Ash makes great goblets.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
Beautiful.
anyway, so that's that. Then I made my first egg. My wife says it doesn't really look like an egg, but
Does?
Yeah, it does.
it's a piece of oak.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like an egg to me.
Well, that's what I said. So
Yeah.
then I got a couple bowls. This was a piece of oak. Two pieces I glued up.
Okay.
Very
Nice.
Nice.
Then yesterday I made this bigger one.
Oh, my goodness.
Here's
That's pretty.
two pieces of beech glued together with two pieces of cherry in the center. And
Ooh.
Very nice.
I'm
Yes.
getting there.
Fill that one full of the eggs now.
Yeah, that's what I've got to do. So that's all I've got.
All right.
Big one's
Thank
gonna
you,
hold a
Dennis.
lot.
Appreciate it, Dennis. Good work.
Scott, hey, what you got for us?
Well, I'm here if you got me.
You
So I
bet.
made another texturing tool this week. This is just a 1/8" Dremel bit. And it's got ball bearings and a piece of 3/8 pipe. So that was pretty easy. You don't have to make a handle. It works pretty good just the way it is. And then I made this
Oh,
week.
wait,
the
wait,
first
wait,
one I've ever
Scott, go back and show that again, because I missed the beginning of it. That is a piece of 3/8" copper or brass pipe,
made. Brass pipe, yep.
and you machined it to hold the bearings.
Nope, the bearings went right in it. The bearings I got went right inside of it. They're for a router bits. They slipped right inside, and I just peened the end of the pipe over to keep them from popping out.
Oh, cool. Now that's a good idea. That really is.
And then a magnet in the bottom.
I haven't put a magnet in this one because it snaps in pretty tight. The bearings are pretty tight on the shaft. I'll try it first. If I need a magnet, then I'll put a magnet in the bottom.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Then I made my first crotch piece this week.
Love it.
That's pretty.
That's your first one?
That's
Hold
my
that
very
up on-
first one.
Stop
the side.
practicing.
Nice.
That's very
That's
nice.
great.
That's nice, Scott.
So I had a little help from Dane on getting it started, but after I got it started, it went pretty well.
Nice.
That's why we're here.
So it started out of a piece like this. So this is the next one.
Or the
Wow.
next two.
That'll be
looked
the
like-
next bowl.
That one looked like cherry.
It is cherry. It's all cherry.
Sweet.
And then I had a couple people email me this week and wanted to know when I talked about using the new templates on the circle cutting jig, what kind of tape I use. So I use cloth carpet tape. And the reason I use this rather than the stuff Captain Eddie uses, which is this you can put the white backing back on and then reuse the tape later. It seems to stay sticky for a while if you cover it up so it doesn't get full of dust. So I just wanted to mention that because I had a couple people email me and they said I'd show it tonight. So
That's two-sided tape, Scott,
it's two-sided carpet tape.
and it works good to hold stuff on the lathe, huh?
Works great.
Cool, thanks.
I use it because I can cover it back up again and keep it for, I mean, it'll last for about a month in the drawer as long as you don't get any sawdust on it.
That's a good point.
So other than that, that's all I have for this week.
Thank you,
All
Scott.
right. Thank you. Is Charlie Bundy, you're up next.
I'm here. If you can find me.
We got
see
you,
you.
Charlie.
Ah, that's good.
There he is.
There you go. This started out to be a flower vase. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. This is oak.
Looks like a
There's some
flower
pretty
vase
oak.
to me.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
I'll show you why it's not a flower vase.
Can you put a water bottle down in it?
If I can find one that size. Oh, no, a regular, you mean plastic water bottle? No.
Yeah.
It's about a 16th shy.
Oh, darn. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
I did it.
nice.
Yeah.
I think I roughed this out about right before Christmas. Then it was wet. I put it in a bag to dry with shavings. And when I put it back on, I don't think I got it centered enough. And one side, right in here, is thinner than the rest.
I say
Most
make a
of-
knife out of it.
Most of it is 3/16, but I'm less than a 16th on part of it.
Make a night light up, Charlie.
Yeah, I could do that. That's all I got for today.
It's
Thank you,
beautiful.
Charlie. Good to see
Yeah.
you, sir.
Love that.
All right.
All right.
Chris Nealon is up next. Let's see, there we go.
Okay, we're right here. So a couple of things.
Who let him in?
That was Billy who said that.
My tail and
Look at the other camera.
uh,
We're seeing you on there. There you go.
Yeah.
crotch piece.
Oh my
Look-
gosh.
Look at me,
Spare
Chris,
with a
not at
little
you.
bit of color.
Oh,
That's really pretty, buddy.
good.
I almost threw it through the window because in here, there's a big bark inclusion. I didn't think it was gonna hold together, so I put Illuminite down there. And forgot to tape the back side of it. And it all came out the back.
Oh, my.
Wow.
So I had to
Oh,
put
you
it back
learned that
on
from
and
Billy.
clean the
You
back
learned
off.
that from Billy, didn't you?
That's very nice.
But I used that, the color from that English fellow we met, Billy.
Yeah.
That is nice.
And
That English fellow he's talking about is Martin Saban Smith.
Uh-huh.
so
And
my
drink it
son's been
cold.
after me for a canister for his tea bags. So apparently I made him an urn.
Yeah.
Kind of runs in the family. But it's sycamore.
That's pretty.
It took a nice color.
Love
I
it.
made the top much too big and should have hollowed out a lot more, but good fit. And I belong to the Eastern Connecticut Woodworkers Club up here, and they talked me into doing a demo for resin casting with hybrid woods and blanks and stuff, which I really don't do much, but this week I made a few hybrid blanks for pens
Oh, yeah.
with pine cones.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh,
And a couple bowl blanks.
yeah.
Oh,
In
nice.
here, there's a gnarly piece of beech.
Can't wait to see that one, buddy.
Wow.
Well, we're getting there. That's
Nice.
all I have.
What did you
All right.
What's
finish
that?
your wood with?
I'm sorry.
What is your finish on your wood bowl?
This one is just sanding sealer and some of the Hampshire sheen high gloss wax.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's a good finish.
Yeah, that Hampshire sheen is some good stuff.
It's amazing. Doesn't have the best smell to it though.
Oh, hey, Chris,
No.
Chris,
Yes,
put
sir.
that back up so camera view. Look at the flash in the bottom of that bowl, folks. There's no lines, no ridges, no high spots, no low spots. That is good as any bowl is going to get turned. That is beautiful work, Chris.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful texture in the bottom.
Yeah. Great job, Betty.
All right. Terry, you're up.
Yeah, I'm here. You
What you
there?
got
Where
for
we going? You got me. Well, I had an interesting week. I had this plan for a 2-week vacation and it got cut short by 2 weeks due to an automobile accident of one of my friends. So anyway, I've been kind of in a slump and ain't been doing much. I haven't had a lot of wood and everything came together and I didn't have any ideas. And last weekend I was went to the bookstore with my wife and I came up with a couple of really nice books. You guys might have these, any of them, but I do a lot of brown and round. I don't do a lot of embellishing. And these books are really nice for that, both of them. This one is Robert Chapman and the other one is Burt Marsh. And I went through getting some ideas. And then yesterday I was out looking for wood and found a big pile of wood. So that was good. And I thought it was ash. And I got one over with the truck. It was on the curb. So I went over with the truck and was loading it up. And a homeowner come out and told me that it was pecan. And I didn't think it was. I thought it was too light. But anyway, I brought it home and I was just turning a piece just for turning to see what it would look like. And the idea is out of that Robert Chapman book. Of course, it don't look anything like his. And I got this, I was a little disappointed. I got this curve off. It's too flat. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't follow through right. But anyway, it was just a practice piece to look at the wood. But then I turned it down pretty thin and I got looking and got thinking, and which, you know, that's never good when I do that. Nothing's good gonna come out of that, but we got doing a little thinking here. So I'm gonna try to turn the camera around again here, if I can find it. Okay, I'm back to the table. Let's see if I can unhook the iPad and get my thumb out of the way. But there's the bowl. That's the base that I made. Yeah, I shut the light off on purpose. Okay, so now I thought, how about this?
Oh, another lampshade. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
I thought,
That's too cool, Terry.
I said, this ain't gonna be a lampshade, but it sure give me the idea. And I've got my whole truck. I got a 1-ton long bed truck and the whole bed is full of pieces and a lot of them are out there near 2 feet. So it looks like I got some things to do. And then on the way back from that pile, I stumbled into a nice little pile of mesquite. So I'm pretty much out of excuses for not doing anything.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
So, but that one piece that I showed you, that's a piece that I did today. I just got it last night, the wood and everything. So looks like I got some to go, and I was really happy to find something that looks like it'll make some lampshades, because out of the ones that I made, I was really starting to appreciate the shape by the time I got done with about 20 of them. The first 19, not so much, but by the time I got done, I was starting to learn a little bit more about the shape. And then I got a lot of other things, and there's those 2 books are so many ideas. Those guys are pretty good. You guys probably heard of both of them. I know Joaquin's got one of those books because I was telling him about it, but they're not a lot of embellishing. It's a lot of turning of all different kinds, and there's fabulous gallery all through it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's one after another, and it's really nice work. Yes. And so I was kind of happy with it. I lost my whole library of Hurricane Harvey, and I never put it back together again. So it was all in the shop and blew in the ditch. But mostly it was the AAW magazines, and sometimes they get so far into embellishing that, and that's really not where I normally go. I kind of, I don't market a lot, and
I just like to do it for a hobby and give to my friends and stuff.
There you
It
go.
kind of limited my sight the way I go. But anyway, guys, that's what I got. We'll turn to somebody else.
Good
That
to
works.
see you, Terry.
Okay. Great work, Terry.
Was
It's
there a
fun. We'll
question
have
there?
some-
No, it was just great work.
Okay. Thought I heard
Maybe
somebody
we'll have a
starting to ask
lamp
a question.
to show you.
All right, thank you. Let's go over to Randy Smith.
Hi, folks. This is an instant poll. How many pens
Wow.
are in there?
Oh, my
73.
goodness.
I have been making Freedom pens for a while, since January. I have 2 more to go, and then I'm done with this batch. There are 58 pens in there. I counted them earlier.
Oh, my goodness.
And one other thing, I found that cross-pollination is really a good thing. I was doing a search for hot glue, and I found some, and then up in my results is a black hot glue. I thought, I wonder if they make colored hot glue. Yes, they make colored hot glue. They make it with glitter in it. They make it transparent. And I thought, I wonder how I could use that. And I have no idea at the moment, but there it is.
Wow.
I did hear on one of the YouTube sites, they were talking about hot glues and the colors and all of that. They said, if you need something to hold, do not use the glitter hot glue. Something about the glitter, it doesn't have the holding power. Just be careful.
Oh yeah, I just am trying to figure out what I would use it for. It's like, what I really use this for? It's not sandable because it doesn't get hard like epoxy or resin. So I'm not sure how I'd use it, but somebody out there who has more out the box thinking, there's your idea.
Hey,
That's-
somebody in this group will find a way.
Definitely.
Speaking of out of the box Jim.
Oh, he's got a nickname now, Out of the Box Jim. All right.
Oh, am I? Oh,
Yes,
oh, wow. There we go. Well, I'll start with an out of the box. This is a sharing.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of times you make things that you're not sure what you should do with them. And they look good or they start out as something and I don't know, they just don't go together. So I found a lot of famous artists glue all these things together and make something out of them. So I thought, well, maybe if I glue things together, it would help. But it's not helping.
Oh, cool.
Anyway.
Looks like a really weird cowboy hat.
Yeah. This is the cylinder. I made this cylinder on top here. That's a demo to show on a demo in a bandsaw. You put a circle on a block of wood, like a 4x4, 6 or 8 inches long. Put a circle in the middle of the top of it, and you set your bandsaw at this angle, and you cut straight in, and you follow all the way around that circle, and that plug comes out of the middle. You thought I turned that, huh?
Yeah.
This is a Christmas ornament. Didn't work, but anyway, different sizes. That's one of the things. And then for Billy, I did this special, Billy. This is a drawing for the 3-sided. You know how they made the vases a couple weeks ago. You made a vase, and the side came down from point 1 to point 2 and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Well, I said, what if they cross? This side comes down to the other side over here, but then I made the other side come across this to make them cross, and it doesn't work. Besides, it's got to be so precision. There's not enough definition. There's not enough hump in here to make this thing look like a crosshatch pattern.
Right.
So it doesn't come out very good.
So you did it one way and then the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 6 surfaces, 6 different setups here.
Right.
And if they're not exactly right, it doesn't come out at all. It messes it up good. But anyway, before I went too far, I thought I'll throw this away. It's on its way. And then this afternoon, I decided to make something out of a block. This is a 6-sided bowl.
Wow.
Made out of, I just turned this afternoon. This is the first one. I'm gonna do some more of these probably.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway,
that's pretty.
It's different. It's pretty, but it's different.
Yeah, it is.
Neat, yeah.
Out of the box.
You can get killed with all these points flying around, but it's
Which is a good thing.
yeah, it's painless.
Wow.
Might be brown, but it's not round for sure.
Anyway,
Well, that's definitely out of the box.
yeah.
Hey, Jim, did you hold that point to point?
Yes. This is a point to point. It's like the middle of a cube.
That's the way I'm looking right now. I see it.
A cube has 8 points, and you put 2 between centers, it leaves 4 spinning around. So this is, no, yeah, it has 8 points. You leave 6 spinning around. So you have 3 on each side of this.
Okay.
It's got to be pretty precision or they don't come out points. I made a 20-inch sanding disc for my lathe, and I put 80 grit sandpaper on it. And oh my God, is that nice for sanding flat surfaces? You got to watch. If you bump into it, it'll sand the end off your finger to the first knuckle before you even knew it happened. But
yeah,
it's gorgeous for doing this.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was this afternoon.
Wow.
Beautiful work.
That plate behind your head looks beautiful too.
The puzzle plate.
I think I've shown that. That was I thought I showed that. Maybe I showed it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful though.
Did last week, but it's gorgeous.
It is.
Yeah, the blank was done on a CNC machine just to turn the blank. And then it's mounted on a faceplate with screws through here, this here and here. Actually, this came right up here further. So you can put screws in next to the plate, turn the handle on the outside and the whole inside of this. Then you take the screws out of here and put them into the part that would be coming up here. That's sacrificial. Put 4 screws in there, and then you can turn the inside of this and take that out, and then cut this around here with a bandsaw, clean it up, and you got handles on both sides.
Wow.
Oh,
Very cool.
I don't like CNC machines, but I'll tell you, they make a fabulous blank. You can make blanks that you can't imagine.
And the repeatability of them is amazing.
Oh, it's well, that's what they're actually for. You know, if you wanted 5 dovetail drawers, you could cut them by hand by the time you set up the program and got everything together. But if you wanted 35 dovetail drawers,
yeah,
you can't even come close. And same with this. If you wanted 30 of these that match, you just put the next block of wood in and push a button, and it makes it.
Good looking stuff.
That's me.
Well,
Thank you,
Eddie, that's
Jim.
all I had.
Oh, good. Well, it's time to do a little tips and tricks here, or a little update, news and features of things we're working on. And that's what we're in our progressing format. That's what we're going to talk about, is things that we all can work on, all can participate in. And remember, there's no restrictions. I got to tell you this every time, there's no restrictions. The people you see helping, the co-hosts that pop in, all these folks were members just like you. And they just said, hey, can I do this? I mean, Dane's out sick tonight, so Doug Miller took over gallery. Brenda's up for a demonstration. Somehow we got double booked. Billy Dillard was up also. Billy put his tools away. We're going to go to Brenda for the demo. But that's how we work here. We keep things going. And it's anything that does with wood turning. Now, here's what I'm working on right now. I'm looking for club newsletters. See, we do a newsletter that is basically a gallery newsletter. It shows you what we have in gallery, and I'm trying to add some ideas and some context in it. Each week when we speak of something that is where we can get a tool or buy a tool or fix something. I mean, last week somebody said something about getting levers to go in their lathe. And I said, you can go to manufacturer, but you can also go to MSC Direct, Granger's, that other one, oh man, McMaster Car, I think it is. And they all sell these levers, and what they're selling is probably 2 or 3 times more quality than what you would get from the manufacturer. I mean, why am I going to replace a broken plastic lever with another plastic lever? So the work, I want to put that in a newsletter. But we'd like to get copies of your club's newsletter. And all right, no matter what the format is, we're not going to use that copy. We just want to see what goes out in newsletters. And that's the key, is where is a source of knowledge going there? And oh, by the way, you give me a copy of your newsletter, send us a copy of your newsletter. We'll contact your club and invite them to participate in this. There's no sales, no pitch, no deal. This is all just for wood turning. And that's it, just for wood turning. And that's why we're all around here. And that's the newsletter one. And a little while ago, we spoke of this. And this is the galleries we have coming up, gallery challenges. Next week, March 15th, the St. Patrick's Day Gnomes. And remember, we spoke of this earlier, there is no restrictions, no limitations, no guidelines, nothing. It's just a gnome. Decorate it how you choose. Go wild, have fun, and then give it away to somebody. April 5th, just before Easter Sunday, we're going to be doing Easter eggs. Somebody showed an egg earlier, and so it doesn't look like an egg. Number one, think about where the egg comes from. Number two, there are no standards. All right. If it looks like an egg, it's an egg. And June 28th, we're taking back the country. That's right. We'll do a little cannon, for you, and have some fun with that one. Memorial Freedom Pens, the Memorial Edition, is going to be around Labor Day, and that is, we will push harder to get things in for our troops at that time, so we can make Christmas deliveries to our troops protecting our freedom. And we're still setting this up, ornaments and jewelry. Yes. And we spoke with this earlier. How do you hold them? I mean, just now, Jim Duxbury was showing us, or explained to us how he held that platter to get those handles and such on it. Okay, you're not going to do a platter. That's okay. What else can you do with it? You see, he gave you some holding ideas and stages, and those techniques really matter when you get out and turn something. The more techniques you can do, the better it'll come out. All right, now I have one more to talk about in our updates, and here it is right here: club stickers. We spoke of this last week, and we did a little impromptu poll, and it appears that you members are acceptable to doing this. Dane and I spoke about it. It's not restricted to Dane and I. Okay? You have an idea? We want to hear from you. I have a few things to work out. We're going to select a product. In a moment, I'll show you a sample I have from somebody. We're going to select that product, and we're going to select the vendor. Those two critical about what the quality of what we will receive. Then we need to purchase the stickers. the envelopes, and the postage. And that's outright purchase. And then we'll set up a payment shipping program. Now, if it seems like I'm trying to make this complicated, I am not. I'm working very hard to keep this legitimate. There's no gravy on this train, really. We're going to have 2 or more members involved in this, so it's a fail safe. Like one guy can receive the payments, type out the address, the other guy can ship the pens out. Money comes in, stickers go out. That's when we want to do. We're going to do regular reports and accounting on this. You will know, you the members will know where every single penny comes and goes. And you will know on a weekly basis. If you request faster than that, we'll work it out. But you will know where every single expense is, where every single profit is, and what we plan on doing for it. I spoke earlier about passing out decals to future members at symposiums and workshops and stuff like that. Yes, that's where any of the overages, and it'd be very little, but that's where any of the overages will go, because this is your club, your stickers, your program. Nothing here is a government secret. We want to be honest and fair. Just don't tell anybody we're doing that.
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be maybe wise? Maybe we should send in a self-addressed stamped envelope.
That could be one way. That's interesting, Scott. I've done things like that when I was in radio business. We would say, if you mail this in, I'll send you back such and such, because it cut my budget back to barely anything. We're looking to put together packages. Now, last week we talked about doing this, and a couple of folks chipped in. I'll take 10, I'll take 5, I'll take this, I'll take that. The cost of the sticker is going to be very reasonable. And the bulk of the expense that you're going to pay us is the shipping and handling. But what if, and it's a what if, we put it together where there's a package. You buy 10 stickers, you pay the postage. This is a cost. The stickers and the postage, the envelope also, is in that cost. We get it really, really close, so there's no loss. And that's where that little margin comes in at. That's what bothers me, a little margin, because people say, you're making money off of it. No, we're not going to make money off of it. I'm going into this thing, that's what I said, and that's where we stay in. But if we do packages like that, it make ordering pretty simple. We can actually, if somebody can do this, my business manager says I cannot. If somebody can set up an account like a Venmo account or a PayPal account or one of those accounts where they can receive a payment and then turn that over to our shipping department, that's fine. I'm not permitted to do that right now. I got in a lot of trouble with bad advice a long time ago. I'm listening to Charlie. But that's the sticker program. We really would like to get this going. I mean, when we started talking about it last week, Billy Burt held up one of his bowls. Billy's got his own stickers he puts on the bottom of the bowl. And it's a nice touch. And you can put them on your lathe, on your toolbox, on the back of your car, on your hard hat, wherever you want. Now, I said I had a sample. I got this from Pro Sticker or somebody like this. They sent this to me as a sample. This is a zigzag type cutout. So you get that outside pattern on it. Pardon me, ours will be round. This has no gloss. It's actually a very basic sticker. And the ones that I've seen come out from another sample I've got or in a strip roll. So you strip off what you want. And we're not going to limit it to only 10 per member. No, there's no limit. There's no restrictions. I just like to we're proud of what we do. I want to get the word out and let folks know that this is where you can come and get some of the finest wood turning advice in the entire world. Great demos, everything else. And each week, and hopefully they're geared towards the demonstration, we go live and direct to Tampa, Florida, and we get our weekly safety update from Safety Sue. Sue?
I'm here.
All right, it's your game.
Thank you, dear. So, first off, as soon as I'm highlighted,
I see you.
there you go. This is not safety, but I want to thank Ron Radcliffe and Billy Dillard for nominating me to do 10 projects on Facebook. I don't normally go on Facebook, but I haven't been in the shop due to health reasons for almost 2 months. So I will get there. I accept the challenge, but I will get there.
That Ron causes trouble all over the place, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But, you know, Billy Dillard does too. What can we say?
See, that's just pictures. Just pictures.
Yeah,
You don't
I
have to
know.
do a new project.
I know that, but all y'all have seen my old projects. So, you know, I'd like to have some new projects. But anyways, I got a message tonight from Dennis Morgan out of Saratoga, New York, about dirty dust masks. Now, this past year, since I've come to these meetings, I've learned a lot. In fact, about a year ago, I asked, when do you know that the filters in your dust mask are dirty? And it was our Toronto friend that's came back and said, if you can smell the wood or the dust, you need to change your dust mask filters. You normally don't wash those filters unless you have a mask that can be washed. So I know that there's some masks out there that can be washed. One was designed by a woman by a lady that's in Women in Turning. She mentioned it at the Florida Symposium. Yeah, those are great masks. I prefer filtered masks that I can change out the filters. That mask that she did, I actually used when I was woodworking, but I'm in more dust now, so I use regular masks. But if you're smelling wood, or if your mouth is a little gritty or your nose is crusty, it's time to change those masks, because that's what's going to help you from contracting COPD. Does anybody else have anything else to talk about on masks?
But
I'm
let
still.
me ask a question on the mask. If you just have a mask that filters particles, you're going to smell through it. The smells are going to go through that. If all you have is a particle mask, you have to actually have charcoal filtration to take the smell out.
Well, I understand that. Like now, I had some particle masks, and on the micro dust would go through it, but the bigger dust particles wouldn't. I personally always have a filter with charcoal in it because I'll do pyrography every once in a while. So I'm going to say to everybody, get the best mask that you can afford. Don't go out and buy one that's, $10. You need to buy the best mask that you can afford that will prevent you from having health issues as you get older.
I could say something to that. The NIOSH approved N95 or N95 or N100 will take out particulate down to 0.3 microns. 0.3 microns is smoke and bacteria, pollen, dust. You never, ever blow a filter out with an air hose. Okay, that's a common way of doing things. But a really good filter is not like a screen door where the stuff passes through. It's a fiber that's electrostatically charged as the air goes through it, and it will not take high volumes of anything. In fact, it ruins the filter media itself. So if you blow your dust mask out or your canister out, it works great the next time, but it's not doing the job either. I've been involved with respirators for many years, and it goes on. Anything you can wash will work down to maybe 3 microns, and 3 microns and above won't float in the air anyway. So you want the stuff that goes down to like 0.3 microns. And that's it. I do.
Right. Thanks, Jim. It's,
I lost your video, Sue.
yeah, I know. I'm having issues with the cord. How's that? Is that better? Thank
Oh,
you.
yes.
Okay. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it because, yeah, I know all the ins and outs. My mask is a P100. And I'm not sure what that means, but it's a P100. And Kay just said you should get a mask that's $50 or above, but you want to get the best that you can afford. The ones that you wash, they're great if you're going to be using just the bandsaw, but they're not okay for what we do for turning.
Well,
You know?
there's a couple more things. First off, the mask has to fit your face, and manufacturers tell you how to do that. Plug the intake and try to breathe through it and whatever. It has to fit your face, or the stuff's coming around the sides. There's 3 kinds of filters. There's N, R, and P. You have a P100, which is 100%, 99.97% efficiency. And N95 is at least 95% efficient. Don't ask me where they get these, but an N mask, an N100 is for particulates. An R100 is for particulates, and oil fumes, I think it's up to 8 hours exposure or something like that. P100 is good for particulate and oil fumes, full-time oil fumes. The other thing is the canisters that will take out stresses, right? If you've got gases or anything like that, a canister, when you take it out of the package, is activated charcoal. And it's like opening a can of paint. It starts sucking up all the impurities. If you leave the can of paint out for a month and go to use it, it's not going to work, okay? And it's the same with a charcoal filter. People have they have this charcoal filter mask under their workbench for 12 years, and they put it on and start spraying and think it's protecting them, and the charcoal is actually dead. Once you're done with the canister, put it back in the package, and that helps to save it. But canisters is another whole world. I don't get into that.
Okay.
Okay, good luck. It's your health, you know, and it takes 10 years. As you get older, you don't worry about 10 years, but it takes a long time before that stuff starts kicking in. But when it does, you wish you were to wear a mask.
Well, we got some folks that have been doing it for 9 years. They only have a year. So
You got it.
we want to sure.
One thing I want to add is you wear a mask. When you take it off, don't leave it in your wood shop open. Always put it in like a freezer Ziploc bag. Otherwise, all that dust that's in the atmosphere and in the air is still settling inside, outside, and all around the areas of your mask. So when you put that mask back on, you're going to be absorbing all that dust. That is especially up under all these lips and inside the little flap that opens and closes to let the good air and the bad air, the good air in and the bad air out. So whenever you take this off, put it in a freezer, Ziploc bag, do that up tight before you leave the shop, and then it's going to always stay clean on the inside. Another thing is, if you have a big beard, the straps don't get tight enough. So some particles will actually filter through the hair on your face. So you will be breathing some of those particles unless you are perfectly clean shaven.
Thanks, Kate.
Also, Heather just mentioned that she uses a hospital grade mask, an N95, which is great. Some people use surgical masks. A surgical mask is not a dust mask. It's it's a spatter shield. It doesn't fit your face. It goes across your face, and it's made for somebody that's coughing or hacking or something. It stops the impurities or the germs from getting to your nostrils and your mouth. It is not a respirator. A surgical mask is not a respirator of any kind.
Even I find N95s, they don't totally seal around your mouth and your face. You want something with silicone or something that will mold to your face with the tightness of the straps. Because even with an N95 mask or a COVID mask, even though it's rated to filter that amount of particles, if it's not tight up against your nose and you still have that little gap where your nostril flares out, dust is going to come up and in that hole, and you're still actually inhaling dust that you don't even know you're inhaling. So I would always recommend one that's silicone or neoprene or some sort of rubberish type that will mold and seal to the skin of your face.
Right.
Like the one I'm wearing.
Yeah, now I have two of those. One for my regular shop in the garage and one for my lathe shop in the Florida room. So and I like them, and I have a case for each one. And but Dennis, does that answer all your questions?
And
I think we had
what I was concerned about is everything that everybody said is correct, but has anybody, you washed the mask out? The neoprene or the not the cloth, the N95 ones, but the ones that are like a fit your face, do you wash them out? Because as you breathe in them, you get condensation in them for a long time. It's like an oxygen mask. If you don't wipe it out or wash it out, there are a lot of stuff can grow in there that you're unaware of. So if
mold.
That's what I'm concerned about, is people washing them out, making sure you got a clean environment that you're breathing in, that it's dust free and germ free.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point. Mold and bacteria will start to grow within that atmosphere. So I clean my mask every week, sometimes twice a week. Because I mean, I turn Monday to Friday, 9 to 3. So I'm always cleaning my mask and changing the filters too.
Right.
That's important.
Let me add probably the best system that I've seen out there is something like Hobby Air. It's the thing that the people that paint automobiles use.
Yeah.
And basically it is it's a fan with a HEPA filter on it, and you put it somewhere else out of your shop. It's not inside your shop, it's outside of the shop, and it takes air from another location, pressurized air into a mask.
You're right. Yeah. In fact, if you do any kind of sandblasting, there's no filtered mask will work for sandblasting. It just plain does not work.
And the good part about this is positive pressure inside the mask, so you don't get the leakage from coming in from outside.
Right.
And it's what they use because they're dealing with very hazardous chemicals in the paint that they're spraying. Right. And it's probably the best system I've seen out there. They're not that expensive. And I actually plumbed it throughout my shop with PVC pipe. Put it in 2 or 3 locations. If I got too much pressure, I'll open the valve someplace else and let it leak out a little bit.
One thing about those washable masks, like this one here, we've all had them. A lot of people just take the filter out and change it, but you really need to take the valves out, take them apart, wash the silicone discs, because if any dust has gotten in there with all your moisture that you're breathing, it will hold those flaps open and you're not filtering anything.
That is correct, Chris.
Very true.
That's right. In fact,
that is filthy.
You have 3 valves in most of the N95 masks. 2 valves are behind the filters. And if those leak, when you're breathing out, your breath goes in behind the filter, which is no problem. If the exhaust valve leaks, you're sucking the impurities right in the front of your face. You've got to make sure that exhaust valve seals. And they tell you how to do that. You take the two filters off, hold your hands over your palm of your hands over the filters, put it on your face and suck in. And if you can feel any leakage around your face or around the exhaust valve, you got to pull it up tighter or fix it or something.
That's that little valve. That's all that's protecting you.
That's right.
And when that falls off that little stem, which it just did on this one, it's not helping at all.
Right. And they dry out and crack. So over time, you have to replace them.
How the hell they put them back on?
Well, that one's behind the intake valve. It's behind the filter, isn't it? Or is that an exhaust valve?
They are exhaust valves.
Oh, yeah, that's got to work. No.
They usually have a little plastic pin or a button or a little tiny screw.
Yeah, I'm
that
looking
allows
for the
you
left
to
side of it.
take
Yeah,
them
yeah,
in and out.
push them over. Anyway, just thought I'd bring it up.
I'm so glad you did, because look at the discussion that we just went through. And
I was gonna say, very active, great discussion.
and I learned a lot. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. And remember, guys, be safe this week. Breathe safely. Take care, you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Sue.
you.
Well, that was just one interesting conversation, really. We all shared our knowledges and what we experienced. And I've heard some really hokey solutions for dust prevention. And a good friend of mine said, I can build a dust collector to go through this 4-inch pipe and go out of the shop, so I don't have a dust problem. But you don't think you have a dust problem. If you ever have to blow your nose halfway through turning to get the dust out, you got a dust problem. So take care of it. We don't want to lose you. And if you do ever suffer from that, you'll know what suffering is. We're going to go to our demonstrator tonight. It's 1:15. We're going to join Brenda. Band-Aid Brenda is what we call her. And she's got our demonstration this evening. And I don't think we've done anything like this since the club was founded. And this is going to be interesting. And just a little while ago, we were talking to UK Paul Hannaby, and he had to make 60 knobs alike. Well, guess what? Sue's got a solution for that. Sue, you're on deck.
Well, she changed her name, but that's cool.
I'm sorry, Brenda's on deck.
All right. It's all right. All right. So, bear with me here. I'm a little nervous tonight. Is this light behind me too bright?
No, I think it's okay, Brenda. Brenda, I'm going to, that's better.
Better?
All right. Brenda,
Okay.
I'm going to do the mute all things. So you have to
Oh, gosh.
remember, you have to redo, okay? And right now would be fine.
There we go. How about that?
That's it. That's where you got to be. Members, we do this because we get background sounds from folks who have their mics open and Jeopardy is on across the room, and we know those are reruns. So if you want to chat with Sue, we prefer you have your questions at the end of the demonstration. And this is Sue's demonstration. So please let her continue and do it, because we all gain experience from what we hear right here. Sue, I'm done. I'm out of here.
It's all right. It's all right, Eddie. This is Brenda, though, but it's all right. Anyway, I wanted to do a help out, and do a demonstration. And I started doing this chess set, and I happen to think ain't nobody ever done a demonstration on a duplicator. So I thought, perfect. Instead of just the same old thing again, So let's see if I can turn the phone down here. My other piece has went dead on me to see what I'm showing you. What are you guys seeing right now?
We see you.
We see you. We see
You're still
you.
seeing me? Okay, how about now?
Still you.
Still you.
All you.
Hey, center camera.
All right, well, I don't know what to tell you. Because I got my phone and it's on the duplicator right now. You're not seeing that?
That's fixable. We just have to change the spotlight.
Okay. Actually, I think the other one has went dead on me, so. Have you got it now?
Still just you, Brenda.
Really?
Yeah, you've got to change the spotlight over. I can see it, Brenda. I can see it. I can see your camera on the lathe, but I haven't got. You haven't co-hosted me. Trey, Brenda's phone's just on phone. So if you look on the screen in amongst everybody else, you've just got phone, and Brenda's now on that one as well.
Is it just say iPhone?
No, it just says phone.
Phone?
Thornton. Just tap it again, Brenda.
What's that?
Tap your phone again so that the pad comes up. Or co-host me, Trey.
Okay.
If you click me on co-host, I've got my pointer on Brenda. I just can't change the spotlight.
Is this Martin?
Yeah.
Okay, I logged out of the other one.
Yeah, you've disappeared and now come on the other one. If you go back into that, Brenda, I was looking at your lathe.
Well, I need to use my phone though instead of
Right.
the iPad. So if you could
There.
Okay.
You now
Ron.
spotlighted on that one.
all right, can you see me now?
Yes.
We can. There you go. Now we can see the
Duplicator
lathe.
now?
Yes.
There you are.
All right. So I'm going to unhook the phone and show you around the duplicator a little bit. If I can, no, here, let me turn, see if I can turn it around. Here we go. All right. How's that?
Looks good.
All right. You see the duplicator now. All right. There's the headstock. So what it is it's a piece of plywood, basically, right? And it attaches to the lathe through these blocks. And there's a little block there and a little block on the other side. And these blocks, this duplicator is the Penn State duplicator. Okay, happens to be the one I got. It comes with these blocks and you can put it the short way or the long way. There's holes on this side and the other side. If I can see that. Let's see if I can show you that. See that? So if you had a bigger duplicate or a bigger lathe, you could stand this up. And what that's going to do is give you more height to bring your tool to center, right? So anyway, so it's also got here, you got the template. This template actually is going to make the pawn, not the pawn, the bishop. Okay, you see that? And this one I've already started because it takes forever. So I'm going to, everything here is adjustable too. These screws here on the top, right, come loose and you can change the template. Okay, on the back side of the white piece here, and I can't see what I'm looking at here. Can you see this screw here? Anybody?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. That
Yes.
screw, there's screws across the top or across the back of this white piece here, right? You loosen this and you can raise and lower it to adjust your tool point so it is center. Okay. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Goes back, slide back and forth on the rod here. Then in here, you've got, whoops, what did I do? Okay, see this tipper down here? This is what's going to ride along the template. And see how that's doing that?
Is that in the shape of a V, so that's a point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if anybody has any questions, please ask questions, because I'm not sure, if I'm explaining this right or not, or, very
I
good.
understand so far. Is this the small lathe duplicator, the universal one, or is this a different model? Because they've got like 12 of them on their site.
This 12 of them, really. This is the
It looks like the small lathe
compatible
one.
with the Jet and the Delta Mini.
Okay.
So some of you, I know that, that love to make jigs and stuff. This would be very easy for any one of you guys to make. So here I did have to cut this section here out on mine because it did not fit. For some reason, it was just not enough room to make it straight. You can see here where I cut it. So I did have to modify it a little bit. And your piece of wood, you're going to have, in center. And this one I did because I have three lathes. I did turn this round on my big lathe, then put it on the little lathe and started turning the shape, because this little tiny tip here is very slow. Okay, which is why I've also got most of it done, or a lot of it done.
Where do you get the
Okay.
templates at, Brenda?
The templates I bought through Penn State too. They have templates for the chess set, and I think they're here in this book here somewhere, and several different pen templates.
Bottle stoppers too.
Yeah, here we
They
go.
also have game calls.
Yeah. Can you see any of this?
Yes.
There's the picture of where some of the templates that they have. Okay. And I'm not trying to promote Penn State or the Penn State duplicator, but that's just the one. That's the one I have. Okay, I'm going to turn the phone back around, or the camera back around, and we'll turn this on. See if we can line it back up. There we go. Sorry, hope I'm not making you dizzy. How's that look?
Good to me.
Looks good.
It's going to be a good picture. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll turn it on and run it at about 1800 RPMs. And we'll just show you real quick how slow this thing cuts. Right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push on the back, push it in. I'm going to take a little tiny bite. a very good picture there?
Yes,
What's that?
yes.
Okay. Like I said, it's a very slow process because you got to go real slow. You can go back either way. And no matter how far or how fast you push or how hard you push on this direction, it's not going to go past that template. So there's no way you can take too much off or too much wood off unless the wood starts to bow. And I like to go back and forth from one end to the other. That way I'm not taking too much or so much off at a time. Might be a very boring demonstration. But after I get this turned out here, I'm gonna take it apart and I can show you more of the duplicator itself, maybe do some measurements for you or whatever. Anybody got any questions real quick?
Right off the top of your head, Brenda, do you know what kind of metal that cutter is?
I don't think it says. It's just a, let's see, what's it called? It's called a, nope. Just calls the cutter.
On the Penn State site, all the cutters they sell are HSS.
Okay, high speed steel. So that could be sharpened.
Yes.
Well, I have been
Yes.
sharpening it. I have been sharpening it with my little 600 grit thingy here.
Website also says they sell a two-sided carbide tip also.
And it is also reversible. There's a tip on the other side of it. You see the Allen or the what's that thing
Set
called?
screw.
Yeah, set screw in the top there. Undo the set screw and pull that out, turn it around. There's one on the other side too.
Cool.
Same thing. Yep.
Does that cutter have a sharp point on the end or a small radius?
It's a sharp point. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you make your own templates?
I can't, but yeah, you could.
I've seen people make them out of wood. If
Yeah.
you want to see what a close-up of what the cutters look like, you can follow that link that Tim put in the chat a couple minutes ago, and it takes you right to the page. You can see where all the cutters are.
Yeah, you can make them out of hardboard or masonite too.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I know that
Or even your plastics or
I know if
the
you want to,
duplicator page.
if you want
The
a
book
different,
actually shows too that you can, if you had one, say like a wooden piece, you could even stick it here, clamp it here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And just use this then as your template.
Gotcha.
I know
Oh,
that
that's
if you want different styles of chess pieces that you can order from other sites, not Penn State, but you can from other sites, you can order different templates for duplicators for making different styles of chess pieces. For
Gotcha.
instance.
Okay.
I know that the
All right.
the details that you're working on the chess pieces are very fine and intricate, but it seems that a cutter with a very sharp point is not really a good, it's going to cut side to side, but not really, you know, cut good straight on. So just thinking maybe a small radius would help make things faster, and then maybe a sharp point tool when you get down into the really small details. They make it go faster.
Well, it is cutting, when you're cutting between the round pieces here, it does cut straight and straight in there, you know, and make a nice point. But like you said, yeah, it is cutting more from the side, which is in this direction. Right. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to make your own, you can put any kind of tip that you can buy or make whatever in there, you know.
But the follower and the tip need to match.
Yes. The guide here.
That guide and the tip need to match. So if you, and it would probably be a good idea to put a sort of rounded tip in there and a rounded follower to get your basic shape, and then go to the pointy one to get to the details.
Yeah. And also another tip I want to give you too, that when if you're going to make one of these yourself, you see this wing nut right here? On some of the pieces or on some of the templates, it gets in the way. See, like right here, see how close this is right here? It's hitting the template right here, this wing nut is.
So what does that wing nut hold on? Could you rotate that so it was on top or something? Oh, I see. It's on the thing there.
No, it's holding the guide on.
I see. Okay. Holds the guide on. Okay.
Could be replaced with the set screw.
Exactly, is what I was thinking. Yes. Yeah. Matter of fact, when I changed the tip the other day, I lost the set screw here. So I pulled it out of another piece of the stand and put that in there. So, all right. I'm going to finish turning this here then, right? You guys talk amongst yourself. Can you see how I'm pulling it back and forth?
Yes.
Do we need to move the phone over here just a little bit? That a little better? See, I'm kind of using one hand. Nope. Using one hand to push in on this side. The other hand to push it or slide it back and forth here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't very smart. Nice and careful. You see how it's starting to flex?
Brenda,
Yeah.
if you're gonna save those pieces, this might be a good time to do a little light sanding.
Well, I intend to finish this right here and then sand it. You afraid it's gonna fall apart on me?
Yeah, it might get a little unstable in the middle there.
Well,
Brenda,
this is
Just depends on how thin you're gonna get it.
Brenda,
And
how
if
do
you're
you-
wearing your mask.
How do you
Nope, not wearing
advance
a
the
mask.
cutter? How do you push the cutter into the piece? Are you doing that by hand or is it spring loaded or
Yes,
you're just pushing it?
yes.
Okay,
It
thank you.
does have this knob on the back. Can you see the knob? Let me take this off.
Yeah, I can see the knob.
See the knob on there? You're supposed
you
to
just- you
turn
just-
this in as you're going, but I don't use
Okay.
that. Just use the
Okay.
whole thing. Okay,
Gotcha. Yep.
okay. All right. Well, this is gotta be the 4th or 5th set that I have done. And I've not lost one yet. But of course, after saying that, now, and while I'm doing a demo, of course, we may lose this one. But, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna start making a lot smaller cuts. I'm also gonna go back over here because I don't think this is in here very well. All right, that is as much turning as I'm gonna do. Can you see very well? All right, at this point, then I would do some sanding. Okay,
Perfect.
yes, and then I would take this to the bandsaw. And before I separate them, I would line it up and cut this slice in the middle or in the side. Or if I forget to do that, then I would put this end into that jig that Scott showed us that hooks onto your bandsaw and slice it. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, how do you, you may be covering this in the next bit, but how do you set up the duplicator so that the everything is the right distance from the spindle, from the center of the spindle?
Gotcha. That's what I was going to get to now.
All
I'm
right,
done
cool.
with this, okay? Got the duplicator or the template is going to make two pieces, right? I'm going to cut this in half right here. Then I would, because like I said, I've got 3 lathes. I'm going to put this end then in another chuck, finish off the top, and then I can sand it and shape it and all that. Finish it. Okay. So to show you that, then we're going to take this out. And I don't think you guys really need me to show you, right? I'm just going to cut this apart and make 2 of them. Right. So we'll set that apart. So let me know if you can't see what I'm showing you, but because I can't see what you're seeing anymore. So, all right, these screws here on the top, right? You see these that I'm taking out?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. These are going to hold in your template, right? So your template's going to go in between these 2 pieces right here, and then you're going to screw it down to hold it, right? Okay. Now the screws on the back side here, you see my arm, will raise and lower this white piece, which is what the tool will rest on, right? And push this up.
And I assume you want the
match.
cutter to be like centered on the spindle, the top
Centered
of the
to the
cutter.
piece, yes, yes.
Gotcha,
Centered
okay.
there, centered here, and it does look like this side has dropped. So I would, I can't find it. Loosen the screw here. And probably this one over here. Everything's in my way. There we go. And see how this will raise up and down now?
How do you know how far in to push the template?
When you're putting the template in
Yes,
here,
yes.
it's going to go in just as far as those screws.
Okay, that was my question. Thanks.
See, if here, well, let's do it here because I know you can see here. Here, push it in, it's going to go in farther. Well, maybe not, because I ain't got that other screw loose. It will go in farther here than it will at the screw. See there? So it's actually, it's pushing in and it's resting against those screws. Okay. And
Thanks,
that I would imagine if you're going to make your own, you would have to judge the distance, you know, of how wide you want your piece to be, right?
Yeah, that's always been a sort of a mystery to me, is how that was set up. So I'm assuming that the farthest you can travel with that should then center on the, you know, on the spindle, at the 0, if you will, without the template in it, right? If it goes all the way to the
without
black
the
bar.
template in it, it's the only way you can reach center.
Okay, so you probably have to set all that up ahead of time, and then you can just swap templates in and out to go, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool, thanks.
Yep. Find the screw again so I can tighten it back up. All right, never mind. So anyway, so that explains this part, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So then again, at the bottom, you got these knobs here at the side, right? This knob here, which tightens the screw here. See, this all slides in here. So if you want to make a bigger piece, or you have a bigger tool, I guess, you could make it wider, I guess, to make a bigger piece, right?
Sure.
All right, so this is it's a long screw. All right, can you see anything now? All right, this is the block. You get your piece that goes under your bedway, right? You see that?
No, we can't really see that, Sue.
Nope.
Or Brenda. Eddie's got me doing it now too.
Yep. All right. See if we can move the camera here a little bit. All right. Now you can see that. You get
Oh,
the
so
little
that
metal
fits under
piece that
your-
goes underneath your bedway,
Okay.
right? And that's going to go under the block. Comes with this big screw, and it goes through the top of your bed or whatever it is. Then your block, which is also, you can also make it like this, put it on in that direction. If you need more distance. Okay. For mine, I needed a small one. Just
Guess you
raise it
could
up
make
that
your
high.
own block if you needed to fit your own
Exactly,
lathe.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this just, just screws onto the bottom of the screw and holds it onto your bedway. Okay. And I've got mine marked here. And this just barely fits my lathe. I am just barely hooking on to the bottom of my lathe, or the edge of it. It's right at the edge. I didn't have it on this.
Is that because your board there is a little bit too long?
Thick.
Well, yeah, the whole thing was a little bit too long for my bed or my lathe,
Okay.
which is a Delta, and it says it's, for a Delta, but
If you drilled another hole in that block a little closer to the edge, you could slide that in there a little further.
well, I'd have to change this slot here too.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, she would.
The block, not in your table.
Yeah, just the block, not the top.
Is the block wood? You could just.
It's going through the block too. It's going through the table, the block, and hooking them onto the bottom.
You could glue on an extension to that block that goes up under your bedways.
And the slot would have to change. It needs to be closer.
Yeah, it needs to go in that way.
Yep,
Yeah,
Brenda's right.
but it worked.
Yep.
So
You can't extend the block with another piece of hardwood.
know what it is?
It's all-
The block is not catching the lathe, the bedway.
You'd have to add another set of screws,
Mhm.
and then it wouldn't go all the way through.
The keeper is making contact with the bedways. The block is just a spacer. The
Yeah.
actual mechanical connection to the lathe is the keeper, just like your tailstock's keeper is.
Correct.
So if the entire format of this would have to move a quarter, 3/4, whatever in, making the slot differently, and et cetera.
Yes.
Brenda, make your keeper longer. So that first piece you put under your bedways, make that piece out of a piece of hardwood and make it longer, so that it extends farther into your bedways. Leave the hole in the same place and make that bottom piece longer.
Yes. Yes, that would work too. But it does catch, so it's good. I mean, it works. But I
Yeah,
also want to
whatever
say
works
too,
for you.
can you see this area right here? Yes. What your tailstock. When you're turning that tailstock, it catches that. So if you're hanging on to that, you know, and doing this, you're gonna catch your finger. So if you're making one of these, fix that problem. You know?
Not really. Let me go back to the set screw thing. Change that out.
Yeah.
Change that wing nut out to a machined set screw, the cap on it, and that'll drop it down, and
Correct.
that'll give you another half an inch or so.
Or you
Right.
make one of my, or you make one of my wood knobs.
Yeah.
That's what I do, and make one of Matt's wood knobs to put on there. That'd be
Yeah,
perfect.
make it a flathead anyway.
Yep.
Yep, yep. Take an inch off it, and or a quarter inch, half inch off it, and it'll work better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take it over to the bandsaw and shorten it. No, I mean,
There you go.
Just put a regular
I'm a chop
bolt
saw.
on it.
Yeah.
there you go. Charlie Bundy just said it. Put a regular bolt. That was my idea with the
Yeah,
All you
nut.
gotta
totally.
have is a wrench.
Take it
Exactly.
to a belt sander and just sand it down.
I like the belt sander. That's a good idea. Have the bandsaw.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm still calling Brenda Sue. Leave me alone.
Oh my goodness.
Well, thanks,
Yeah,
Brenda. That's a really good demo of that. I enjoyed that. I learned stuff from it.
Well,
Brenda, let's go back to looking at the tool, and you had that adjustable knob on the end that you say you don't use. Yeah, there you go. Tip out a little bit. I watched a guy do Corian one day with this, and he would set that. He would run that bolt in to barely be making contact with a piece when it's round. And then every time he made a pass, he wouldn't go back and forth. He'd make one pass, turn that about a quarter of a turn or half of a turn, and then make the next pass. And it was not
Yeah.
going in and out. It was doing planing cuts. And he was doing Corian, and he was making knobs. He was a school teacher. His sideline job was making Corian knobs for cabinets to match the Corian colors that were in the kitchen. And his work was selling for like $10 a knob. And he'd rock it through them using that planing technique. So
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, Eddie. It seems to me I saw a demo where they were doing that too. So I think that's how that's supposed to work, but I'm not sure how it works with this setup. So
yeah, well,
that
it's
is the
the
way
same
it's
thing.
supposed to work.
It'll do planing cuts. In fact, somebody else makes a duplicator very similar to that, and it's mechanical. I mean, it gets pulled with a chain, and that one you have to do that little quarter turn every time, and it goes much faster and smoother.
maybe it works like a router stop would work.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah.
And unique thing. I know. Look, Brenda, right now you've got at least 80 people designing their own copy of this tool.
And that's what I was thinking, you know, I mean, most of you are good enough. You can make a chess set yourself freehand. I can't. I tried. I'll show you there's the pawn. Can you see the pawn?
Yes.
Yeah.
That I think is the king. And I've not put it back on and finished the top or cut the bottoms off. Here is the rook. You see the rook? And I like to make the top, you know, with looks like a castle, you know, make the extra cuts in it.
Crenellated.
I did those. And then here is the knight. Can you see the knight? I can't see what you're seeing.
Yes,
Yes.
you can see it.
And the knight, you're only going to turn from my thumb down.
Yeah.
Yes. And then that.
The rest you got to do
there
on a
is
bandsaw or the scroll saw or something.
Yeah. There's the plans come with the, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, there's your pattern. And you cut that off or out on the bandsaw using a, what's it, a clamp to hold it.
Yep. And then you got to do some sanding.
And then you got to do a lot of sanding. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to be doing a lot of shaping with these corners here with my little hand sander thingy.
Do you have
Is that
one of
called?
those belt sanders?
Yeah, I have a belt sander, but it's currently don't have a belt on it.
Okay. Doesn't do you any good then. Okay. Never mind.
I took it apart. Took it apart and then got a new belt, new sander on it yet, new
That
belt
makes
on
it
it
a
yet.
beltless sander.
A beltless. That's good, Bob.
Right. Can you see?
Thanks a lot for showing us that, Brenda. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No
Yes.
problem.
Thanks,
No
Brenda. Great
problem.
demo.
Nice job, Brenda.
I tried.
And Brenda, are there any Band-Aids?
You did
Are
a
there
roll.
Band-Aids?
No
Or you got-
Band-Aids. No Band-Aids, no jewelry. I
No,
did put my hair up.
We actually
I
learned.
was not wearing a mask or face shield, but it didn't fall apart either. What was that question? Did somebody else have a question? No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Sue. I started to say it again, man. Thank you, Thank you, Brenda.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Brenda.
You're
Thank you for the
welcome.
demonstration. We really like it. And folks, that's one of our in-house demonstrators, a member, because we don't pay for demonstrations. We go
First
to
time.
you, the finest wood turners in the entire world, and ask you to do demonstrations for us. And that's where we get some great work. And I know all you guys sitting there saying, well, you know, if I change this and I change that, like the set screws instead of the thumb screws. When you look at how somebody, tool manufacturer, puts something together, remember one of the key points is keep the building cost down. So whatever they've done is not gospel. It's not set in stone, but it's sort of like a guidance. I'm a great fan of set screws because you can get them tighter than a little finger knob, and they're not in a way. So consider if you make your own little adjustments in these, you'll come up with a whole volume. I'm afraid to see what's going to come up with this stuff because you folks really do come up with it. I'm going to go to news and updates real quick here. We have got some challenges coming up, and essentially they're simple challenges. The March 15th next week, we're going to do St. Patrick gnomes. No restrictions, no limits. I want to see what your imagination comes up with that. Yeah, gnomes. April 5th, just before Easter Sunday, Easter eggs. And remember, an egg, I can't be gross and tell you about where it comes from and all that, but hey, they don't really have a pattern. They're going to look like an egg. And whatever you choose. You want to have fun? I had fun a couple of years ago. I did eggs out of different color samples from my shop floor. I had eggs from maybe 30 different species of woods, and I had them in a tray. And it was nice when you say, is that Pecody? Go in there, pick up the Pecody one and match it, you know, and it was a little fun. June 28th, we're taking back the country. That's our cannon demonstration, our cannon gallery. And I see where just a few minutes ago, our Great Britain guy, Martin's got a program coming up to do just that, to make a cannon. So if you don't know how, it's in the chat tonight. Go in and check him out. And yes, he's in Great Britain, but you can attend. No passport necessary. In August, we're gonna be doing beads of courage collections. Those are bowls that go, and we're taking them to Waco. Those bowls that go into the beads of courage. It's a challenge, but also a donation to those young folks who have got the problem. Freedom Pens continues all the time. We want to do a Memorial Day for around Labor Day, pick up a whole bunch of them so we can get them on out to our troops in time for Christmas. And we're still planning on working on ornaments and jewelry. And ornaments and jewelry was picked only because of the unique holding and positioning techniques you'll have to use for it. A little while ago, Scott said he's using this double-sided carpet tape holdings on the lathe. I really like the sure tape, pardon me, but you can't use a big chunk of sure tape unless you just want to abandon the work because it won't come back off. And there's some tricks to that. We will talk about it, but you do tape holders between points, all kinds of doubles, split them for earrings. Yeah, that's cool. But we're going to do that for jewelry because it can be a fun. It's not just a fun demonstration. It's a fun way to take that demonstration to everything else you do. And trust me, you'll be using it. I'm looking for a newsletter. Which newsletter? Your club's newsletter. That's what I'm looking for. If your club puts out a newsletter, we would like to see it. Why? We're still developing our newsletter, and we want to see what's out there, what's the versions that are available right now, and who's doing what with them. So we want to see your club newsletter. Doesn't care what format it is. If you send me a PDF, you send me a photocopy of it, you can send me a real thing, whatever. We want to see the newsletter. We're going to invite your club to participate once we have that newsletter. There's no secret to this. All we want to do with this for wood turning. And we won't use any portion of that newsletter or take context out of that newsletter and use it in ours. That's not what this is about. So that's the newsletter one. And I have one more in our Newts and News today. And stickers. Last week we started talking with, Dane and I started talking about stickers. And we have some things to do with stickers, some things to do. We have something to talk about. And that is because in order to do the stickers, number one, we have to agree of the sticker type. We've got an idea. And then the next step is we're going to procure or secure a vendor that can manufacture these for us. Then we're going to have to buy the stickers, pay the postage, get the envelopes, and put a package together. And then here's where it might get complicated for some folks. We need to have more than one member involved in the accounting and the shipping. I'm very leery of gray areas, very leery of them. And people talk about that. I belong to clubs that made financial reports almost secret, where, you don't need to know that right now. But it's my money. And I do need to know it. So we're going to have two people involved. And we're still working on how to do this. If you can place an order at a common area, make a payment at a common area, another member will ship you the goods. And it's on the computer. It's easy. Okay. But then we got like a check and balance to this thing. And I'd like to see that. Now, what happens with cost? The impression I got last week is you folks probably order a group of 10 if the deal was right. If you order a group of 10 plus the postage and the envelope, there won't be handling. Okay, no handling cost. If you do that, we put it in one lump. Okay, you can get 10 stickers for this amount of money, and this is what you arrange to pay us. And if we get a member involved that can do Venmo, Square, PayPal, or one of those, and take payments that way, that's even better. But you'll make a payment for a unit. You get that unit shipped to you. Now, if that unit costs the club $8.40, and we say for $10 you get 10 stickers, not in stone now. Anything left over, we'll buy more stickers for promotion products. So we go to trades, seminars, workshops, whatever. We can do a promotion. We can give a stick here. Hey, join us, Worldwide Woodturners. And I think that's where we want to go with this. Now, we're still in the planning stages. I'm going to mention it again, and then we're going to show you the sample. I just had one. This is a sample. Ours will be round. It's not going to say matte laminate. It's going to have our worldwidewoodturners.org logo on it. And we'll get those worked up. Show them to you before we actually do the purpose. And if you're interested, you're in the game. Fortunately, unfortunately, we have to buy 500. I am willing to finance the initial purchase. That'll get them here. We can take care of the postage. That'll get them here. We can take care of the envelopes. That'll get it here. And then after that, it's up to you. So if you're interested, stick around. We're going to take it. We're going to take it all the way, and got to get our club out there. I told you about getting newsletters because we need to get our name out there. All right. I see Martin out there. Martin, if I ask you, sir, what about this thing with you demonstrating cannons? You folks trying to take it back again or what? What's the deal?
Well, the demo cannon, it's probably been one of the most popular things that I've made actually, because I took the cannon, as I showed last time. I'd seen numerous cannons around, and I thought they were a little bit complicated and a bit more difficult and not worth making because you'd have to ask an awful lot of money for them. So I simplified it and turned it into a demo that covers a couple of little bits. You've got drilling on the lathe, you've got off center turning, and it makes a good demo, and it's quite a short demo. It's not a complicated demo, and as I don't normally do pay-per-view demos, if I'm going to do something, I like to try and donate it to a charity. So I always open myself up and because it will allow you to, pay $1 or pay $10 and put it to the charity, and then you can come along and we'll make one up. I've got one or two here. These have actually been really quite popular, and I've started marketing them not only for the New Year's Eve events, but I've gone towards the wedding market. And I only launched these in January. Did the demo for my local club in January. And I've just taken an order for 70 and an order for 50 in the last week. To give you an idea, I always say it's a great thing to use up because it doesn't use a lot of wood. It's a great thing to use up all your small bits of wood. Well, I've just taken an order, and here is the small bit of wood that I will be using just to fulfill that order. So be careful when you're trying to price things to fit.
Just laying around the shop, right, Martin? Just laying around the shop.
Yeah.
Shop scraps.
Yeah.
So
You took down a wall.
That's the simple thing that we're making. And what it has is the little plunger at the front of it. If I grab a party popper very quickly.
From a piece of wood, I thought it would shoot a 10-pound ball.
No. There's your little party poppers that you should be able to buy in any local store. That just drops into there, pushes it down with the plunger, and the reason it has to push it down with a plunger is because it's got to come out of the back of the cannon so that you can get a hold of the string.
This is the part I like, and I'm an old ammo troop. I like this part.
And then it just...
That's what it's all about.
Just makes a very quick, fun item. And then you can reload. So if anybody wants to come and see us on, what I've done is I've tried to set the demo up. It's midnight Friday night, my time. And so that you all know it is the same time that this meeting opens in your world, wherever you are in the world.
Okay.
So in theory, I think some of you will be 5 o'clock, some will be 6 o'clock. Donald, God knows what you'll be because you're in Australia. But same time as this meeting starts, but on Friday evening. And I've just set up a PayPal link there. So like I say, anybody who wants to support the charity, please do. Click on the link. Just make sure I've got your email address in there so that I can send you an email link out for that night. And thank you for your support if you come along.
Thank you, Martin. We look forward to that one.
Thanks, Eddie.
Right. We had a little fun with that. And like Martin said, you can use shop scraps. Okay, so the wheels don't match side to side. So the cannon doesn't match the wheels. So the plunger don't match anything or doesn't match anything. And you got to push them. Don't worry about it. This is like gnomes. You get the popperette. I can get it at Michael's or at the Party City by the house. I'm not permitted to have them in my house. It's something about the vacuum cleaner, and I'm not authorized to use it. Don't laugh, Billy, unless you've been fussed at for that. Okay.
I'll constantly.
But we're going to have a little fun with that. Yes. So that's our challenge galleries. Remember, there's no prizes except the little feeling you get in your heart when you know, wow, I can do that and I can have fun. And we get them done for July 4th. So get them done early enough to bring them out to the barbecue. See, Brenda's going to be doing all the barbecuing. So bring them on out to the barbecue and spread the confetti. All right, we're still doing gallery tonight, folks. If you've got something to show, I think you should. Now, I got a note from just now from Chris Bailey. He listens to Zoom when he's working in the shop and he gets the audio videos. Can I reference to the group in my YouTube videos? Yes. No doubt about it. Yes. This is a wide open worldwide club. Yes.
I do it all the time.
Do it all. Billy does it. Yeah, I see it a lot on Billy. I seen Doug Miller do it. See Doug Rowe do it. Wow. And it just tells you, Doug put a blip in his club newsletter about it. You can do that too. And so, yes, you can do that. Chris, we really appreciate you. Is there a process for hecklers? I don't, come on. All right. Got something
Captain?
to show. Yes, sir. Hey, Scott.
Can I ask a question of the group before we go on to gallery?
Go ahead, sir.
So I'm in the process of making a elbow hollowing tool, and I'm going to make it no weld, something that somebody can build with a drill press in an average shop. Are people interested in that?
Yes.
Would you like to see a demo on that?
Yes.
Is a pig's butt pork?
So I'm going to start out with a bar of steel like this, and it'll turn into an elbow hollowing tool that'll be that you can modify to fit any size lathe.
Yeah, is that inch a quarter or inch or?
That's it. That's 1 1/4 inches. So you'll need a 12-inch piece of 1 1/4 inches. That's what this is. You'll need a piece of 1-inch bar stock. There. You'll need a pipe, 1-inch pipe fitting, a flange, a flat piece of steel, which I don't have yet, and a piece of bar stock. So all this stuff I bought at a big box store like Tractor Supply, Menards, wherever. And you'll need some bearings, which I ordered off of Amazon.
All right.
If people are interested, sometime in April, I'll get a hold of Dane and we'll do a demo on how to build this.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to. So you are
Yeah,
very
yeah.
welcome. You're very welcome to do that.
That'd be a good demo.
I did a project more than a dozen years ago for a club here. 1 1/4 inch. I tried 1.5 inches. It's way too much. I made some. There was one spot of welding, which I eliminated in future ones, but we did 25 here one day. 25 guys got to go home with that elbow rig, and many I see this still in use. It's a technique project. You have to understand, sort of like what Brenda, see, I didn't call her Sue. What Brenda was talking about earlier, position of the tool, the way it goes in, you present it, all those controls are in it, and you'll be able to do hollowing on really small pieces because that 1.25 inches is not what goes inside the piece. Depends on what cutter bar you're going to use. That opened a whole lot of variables, didn't it? Yes.
So Eddie, I'm trying to do this for less than $100.
All right, cool. That'll work. That'll work. That can happen. I believe so.
So I'm trying to make it economical. The prices that they're asking for these tools is absolutely insane.
Yeah. And it can all be done by you, with the wood turner. It can all be done by you. So, all right, that's part of it. And folks, we open our doors to anybody like that wants to show us how to create tools and gizmos, gadgets, and all. We've done tips and tricks. I got to talk to Dana about getting it back into the program. Actually, we're going to call it the Jim Duxbury Show, not tips and tricks. Jim just stole the show last time. He really did. And I know everybody watching went and made one of those items that he came up with. In fact, within a week's time, Billy Burton made several versions of some of those tools. So we've had a lot of fun with it. We want to get back to it again.
Here's mine, Eddie.
Pardon? Oh, yeah, look, there it is. Hold it up again there, Scott. Let me get the camera on you. There it is. That's an offset concentric jig. I think that was what we're calling it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Offset elliptical jig. Yes. All right. Nifty
Very
little
easy.
device. Yes. Does help you do some great work too. So, and Jim Duxbury showed us how to make that one night, or his version, and immediately Billy Burt took that idea and went and played in his shop. And immediately I took Billy's idea and went and played in my shop. And you'll do the same thing. That's what makes this so much fun, really.
And
We're
then
going to go to
Jim-
gallery.
And then Jim modified his.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
Nice.
that. The stop block. Yes.
Yeah.
I still haven't found the centerpiece. I got a centerpiece that was offset. I still haven't found that. I was going to show it.
But it all happens here. And you know what else happens here is gallery. We want to see the work you produce. Want to see your art, your technique, and all. But here, wait, before we do any of it, the question is going to be, Bob Moffett, what finish do you have on that? How big is that? What kind of wood is that? So be prepared, Bob. Birdhouse
Okay.
Bob is on deck.
Well, you know, a meeting wouldn't be a meeting without a birdhouse. So I got this one, I did, out of walnut and maple.
That's pretty.
And
Very nice.
it's got a lacquer finish on it. It's about, I think it's 4 or 5 inches tall, something like that. And I've got a bowl that I found a piece of mahogany when I was cleaning out some stuff. And so I made a little bowl out of it. And I did some texturing similar to what I did on one last week, except this is mahogany. I use more blue in it. And I think I like it better with the more blue than I do with the other had some red in it. And the red didn't show up very well.
That's
And
gorgeous.
I just finished with Minwax antique oil.
Very pretty.
About, 7 inches in diameter.
Gorgeous.
But,
That's
and I
beautiful,
did
Bob.
textured with a
Looks
Proxen.
good, Bob.
Used a Proxen grinder and just sit there and just did little indentions in it. I'll turn out
Almost
pretty
looks like abalone shell. I don't mean that literally, but I mean kind of the color and the texture kind of, it's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
well. I hadn't thought about that, but I guess it does.
Yeah.
So what's the blue is that interference paint? Is that what it is?
Or
It's,
iridescent.
the Joe Sonia interference paint.
Okay.
Ir-
Interference.
It's iridescent paint, excuse me.
Right.
Well, the two are different, so that's why I'm asking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the iridescent paint. It's a coat of black and then blue and turquoise and something else that was blue. to think of it.
Violet, maybe?
Maybe a purple.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
That's all, folks.
All right. We saw some of that. We saw some of that Joe Sonia paint a while, maybe 2 years ago. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Let me show you real quick something that I showed you last week. The that's what I got to do. Showed you last week the eggs that I was working on. I've made a couple dozen more, and here's one of the things that we're doing with them. There you go. A little bit of grapevine wrapped around. Throw 2 or 3 eggs in there, and that looks pretty sharp.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Several
That
folks
look
have
good on
commented.
that look good on the Easter dining table. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is not big, you know. There's my hands for comparison. It's not real big, but it's pretty eye catching. So just an idea for you with your eggs as you're doing those. You know, if you go out in your backyard or in the woods or somewhere, find some grapevine, just pull some out. You have to soak that in water so it'll bend, especially this time of year. But it works out really well. All right, with that, that's enough of me. Let's move on to let's go to Cade. See if I can find you, Cade. There you are.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hope all is well. I had a couple private messages about what mask I wear, so I just wanted to mention it. I wear a Eclipse low profile respirator. I get it at Lee Valley. It filters 99.97 of particles, 0.3 micron or larger. You can buy replacement filters, and yeah, it's a great one. Even with my big beard, I can tighten these straps, and I don't smell dust. I don't taste dust. I know there's probably a little bit getting in there, but at the end of the day, when I blow my nose, I mean, it's not brown from turning walnut or blonde from turning ash. So it's very minuscule. It's a very good mask. It's about $50, and I get them at Lee Valley. And I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just saying a good product when I see one.
That's what we do here.
Things I've been working on. I had a little bit of an order from a church. They needed a whole bunch of door stops. So they asked my wood club if we could make a couple door stops. So I said, yeah, sure, I can turn a few. I'll throw it out to the membership. I got a couple other guys who will turn some flatwork guys who will cut them on the angles. But one thing you can do on the lathe, it's a fairly fun project. I mean, these aren't too fancy, but who's looking at the floor anyway? So you can make them as fancy as you like. It's a piece of wood, 2-inch by 2-inch square. I turn the knobs or finials or whatever. Then I cut them corner to corner, and you have two door stops. They're a really good skill builder, good practice, and I give these away to the church as part of a charity thing I do. So those are for the church. I have another 20 or so to make, but I'm going to do different designs for each. Here's another one.
Ooh, I like that.
I did here.
Pretty.
They're a good skill builder. You can use the skew or a spindle gouge, whatever you like. The angle is quite high, but for the big church doors and the big heavy church doors, sometimes there's quite a big gap from the door to the floor. So you need a larger wedge. I'm going to make some smaller ones for like their office doors upstairs. So that's that. I have a demo coming up, so I've been practicing that. Here's one I turned. It's a lidded footed bowl with a finial. So this is an end grain orientation. This one is olive ash. It's got 3 feet.
Very pretty.
The finial is Purple Heart. Here's the grain match here.
Beautiful.
Now this one's end grain, so I can talk about the end grain versus side grain. And there's the inside. Now some people might say that's a box. Well, there's different parameters that define different things. It could be classified as both, a lidded bowl or a box. A box is a lidded container. Normally taller than it is wide, but there are exceptions. So it could be a box. Bowls are normally wider than they are deep. So that's why it's more of a lidded bowl rather than a lidded box. Both are a lidded container and could be pertained as a box as well. So that's the end grain orientation one I did.
Now, before you
This one
continue,
I
Jade,
did out of
Jade, we have to
Yep.
mention that we have an events calendar on our website, and the IRD that Kate is talking about will be listed on that events calendar. So if you're looking to get a hold of this, all the details are on our website under events. And same thing with Scott Hamilton, another one that do these things. You advertise through our chat to our webmaster, and he puts it on our website, the world's greatest returning website. So what's up? What you got there?
Thanks,
And we-
Eddie. Yeah, anyone interested, it's also in the chat. So here's another one I did. Now this one is cherry. So the base is cherry. The feet again are index carved, blended. The lid, I tend to do a color contrasting piece. Now this is funny. What do you see? I almost see a cyclops with a smiley face and the finial's his nose. Is that what you see, Brenda?
I see a mouth and he's sticking his tongue out.
Yeah. So the finial is cherry to match the bowl. So I get the
Beautiful.
match between the finial and the bowl. The lid is normally a color contrasting piece. And there's the inside there. It's not quite finished. I couldn't show these in Martin's meeting because the finish was drying. But I want them to be my normal shiny finish for my demo. Now, those were the ones you might have seen on Facebook. This is one I did today. And this one is made out of white oak for the base and white oak for the finial and black walnut for the lid again. There's the inside, there's the bottom. So that'll be a fun piece. And I have one in progress on my lathe because I'll have one in progress. So I'll go through the process and then it'll be like the Rachel Ray. Oh, and we do this, and oh, we have a finished project. So product for the bottom, and then we do the top and the finial. Last but not least, I've been getting ready for a 2-dimensional wall art exhibition. So I've been in the process of making wall art type sculptural things. I've been using sculptures. So this one here is made out of cherry. This is black cherry.
Oh my.
I like that.
The center is gilded in 10 karat gold leaf. I painted this ring black. And then at the end, I did that to frame in the gold leaf medallion in the center. But by doing that, when I turned these flat, I thought it was missing something. So I wanted to frame in the overall piece by making these match the ring that frame in the gold leaf. So I painted that with an acrylic paint. And then I did my normal shiny finish. Now the face of the piece is shiny, but all the natural edge burl parts of the piece are staying matte finish to also give you that color contrast, sheen contrast, but then the texture as well, if people want to touch it. So that's
Beautiful.
one I did.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I
Okay.
just got this one back. It was in another gallery. Sorry.
I said that was gorgeous.
Thank you. And last but not least, I have one more I did in black cherry. Now this one had a whole bunch of bug holes in it. You can see in there, there's a whole bunch of bug holes. And I thought, am I gonna gild this or gold flake it? And I thought it would be a nightmare with all those bug holes. So I picked up a paint that was impregnated with 10-karat gold flake. And I painted the accents here in gold, gold, and gold. And I wanted to do a dry brush technique over the bug holes. So it also gave contrast, texture, depth between the bug holes and the gold and the overall color and figure of the cherry burl. Now, this one, I don't have a hanger on it, and I don't think I'm going to put a hanger on it, but I'm going to provide a hanger for the person because you never know how someone is going to mount it on their wall. You might like it like this. You might like it like that, which I like it like that.
Yes.
You might like it like that, or you might like it like that. I like that orientation as well. So another thing that was mentioned on Martin's meeting this afternoon was I could turn a dovetailed recess in the back here, circular dovetailed undercut, almost like a French cleat. And that would allow the person, depending on their mood day to day, they could mount it like this, or they walk in the room, oh, they can mount it like this, or mount it like that, or mount it like that. So I think I might actually do that with this piece. I'll create a inner circle with a undercut so they can now hang that like a French cleat on that screw, and they can change that positioning how they feel that day or however they want to feel it.
Change it daily.
Finished yet.
Yeah. Cool idea.
It's
How are you gonna
shiny,
how are you
but
gonna
not
hold it?
quite shiny enough.
You'll have to make a French cleat bracket that matches your recess so that it would match the radius, mount that to the wall, and so it would be a little more stable than just put a screw in the wall.
Just put a screw. Do it with this. Just make a screw with a big enough
No, I
head.
wasn't going to go to that much trouble. I was just going to have an undercut lip of dovetailed underneath, so they could use a flathead screw or a rounded screw that went up under that lip, and that would hold that on the wall at whatever angle they wanted.
Yeah, that'll hold it.
How are you going to hold that?
How are you going to hold it on the lathe to turn
Or a
that?
screw with a washer on it.
Pardon?
Yeah.
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 Or a screw with a
You
washer
could
on it.
use a screw with a washer.
I want to go to Billy's question.
It's a lot more finicky if I
Billy
start
Bird, ask your question,
trying to
please.
make French cleats that match there. Sorry?
Okay, how are you going to hold it on the lathe
would
to
be
turn
a
that
lot.
dovetail?
How am I going to hold it on the lathe? I'm going to make a pressure chuck that fits this circular so I can get it centered. And then I will have tailstock support to bring that up to that will fit within this.
Gotcha.
And that will center it. And then I will use tailstock support and I will cut that undercut groove here within the solid circular part, because down here I have a lot of bark inclusions and stuff. So I don't want to go through and end up losing this, right?
Right.
So I'm going to have to make that circle within here.
Right.
But it's totally possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to use probably a modified bowl gouge or a modified parting tool. Or if I don't have the right angle, I'll take some cold steel and I'll make a tool for the job. Yeah, and the finish again is tung oil. It's not quite shiny enough, but the turned parts, the gold parts will be shiny. All the natural wood will be matte for the color contrast as well as the sheen contrast. The sides has some pretty cool spalting within it.
Yes,
Um,
gorgeous.
Yep.
and I think over here is another little piece there. So I'm gonna make quite a few more of these. I have some walnut burl, maple burl, lots of cherry burl, some ash burl. And it'll be also the inventory for my other galleries too when that exhibition's over. So
Cool.
any other
Very nice.
questions? Otherwise, that's it for me.
Just
I like,
beautiful.
I like your bowls. You leave the lid a little proud and that just makes it look, I like your bowls. And you make the lid a little proud. It puts a little edge of reveal on it. Real nice. Nice touch.
Thanks. I thought about that when I was making them. Do I want it flush or to come undercut? But no, I do like that interruption between a concave and a concave. You get that sort of right angle to break it up and give it a little more depth. But thank you.
Yeah, nice job.
All right. Thank you, Kate. Beautiful work. All
Thanks,
righty.
everyone.
And we're gonna pop down to, oh, there he is. Jim's with us. Hey, bud, what you got?
Hard to follow Cade. I like all his work, but I haven't been in my shop in a very long time, and so I was able to get out last week and knock out a little bit of a maple bowl.
Beautiful.
About 10 inches in diameter and maybe about 5 inches tall.
It's really pretty.
Is there a finish on that?
Nice curve. Nice
Right now, it's just like sanding sealer. I was going to lacquer it, but I ran out of time and got busy on some other things.
Real nice.
Good, Jeff.
Love
Thank
it.
That's
Yes. Very
beautiful.
nice.
What's the wood, Bert?
It's maple. It's got a little bit of ambrosia
Oh,
in
it's
there.
maple?
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
That's for some popcorn.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So
Nice.
that's it for me.
All right, thank
That's
you.
it. Thank you, Jim.
We got
Appreciate it, sir.
Joaquin-
Thanks,
Got
Jeff.
Joaquin to share something here with us.
Hey,
Hey, Joaquin.
how y'all doing? My wife hit me up about, I got all these birdhouses and ornaments and stuff, and so, why do I have to put them up? You need to make some hangers to put them on, so I made a hanger here for this birdhouse.
Sweet.
Now, Trey showed us how to do this with a wave bow jig that he did on the chainsaw, on the bandsaw, which I didn't do. I'm just going to share with y'all how to do it without having to have that jig. Now, this is the piece that come off here. I made the cut beforehand. And what I did, this one, I've got a tenon on it. So I turned it around, got the tenon. So I cut it in my chop saw. That's cut on a 15-degree angle. And I've got newspaper in between it, glued in between it to bring it apart. But then I started out doing them. Here's one that I'm doing. It's got a 1-inch hole in it. It's on pin jaws. And that is the same way, except it had a 1-inch hole in it. And I've cut it and put the newspaper in between it and glued it together. And I don't know if I do all my ins and outs that way. And you need a knife. I'm going to take this one apart right here. And I've got the chuck is loose. It's not tight. And I've already started breaking this, You want a thin knife. And that paper will just tear in half. I don't know how many of y'all tried that.
Yeah.
The paper.
Yeah.
Looks great.
I don't like the what do you call it? The double-sided tape. I don't care for that. And so, here it is broken apart, the newspaper on there, and I'll take and put this on my belt sander and take that off.
Yep.
And but you can do it either. One thing about have the hole in there, you can add weight to it if you've got something that's too heavy for it. And a bolt or nut. But I think these would probably be easier. So it depends on, the length of wood you have, whether you drill a hole in it for a short piece or put a tenon on it. So that my camera acting up here. But there's something else I do. I was a pipe fitter and instrument fitter as well. And we used to take, for my wire, soft copper tubing, and we would stretch it. So this was an old pen press that I took and rigged up. And this is 12 gauge copper wire. And then you don't need, all you need to do is to straighten it out, maybe stretch it about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna put my vice grips down on this end. That's about as straight as I can get it. And
Wow.
I just happen to have this, Now I've got my straight copper wire to bend and shape or whatever I want to do with it in that little stand.
Nice.
Cool.
So that's what I got for tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Joaquin. Beautiful work and great tips, man.
Yes, thanks,
Love that.
Walkie.
Thanks, Joaquin.
Okay, how many brains were clicking along thinking about that paper glue up and the hole in the bottom? If you make the hole the same size as fender washers and you have the hole, screw in just the fender washers underneath for the offset, then you go to Hobby Lobby and get the piece of felt to go on the bottom. I know you've been thinking about that. I know you've been thinking about it. And that's why we're here. Anybody else for gallery tonight? We got a few minutes before I pull the plug, but it keeps going on after that. And you're not restricted. If you want to stick around and talk, show, whatever, remember, it's got to be kind, no profanity, no religion or sex. It's just a family. We got our GP rating. We keep it that way.
That's all I've got on the list tonight, Eddie. So we're
right.
Clear and open.
Good. Well, we're not done. Come on, there's other guys out there, Turners, that have something to show. Ladies, I don't mean to be rude when I say guys. It's a generalization. And, we're all out on a tailgate telling lies and showing wood and things like that. And we invite you to have your friends join us. And we're free. Absolutely. We don't compete with anybody. We believe that this shares the information about wood turning that we all want. And who didn't pick up an idea tonight? Who didn't get their brain functioning and working? Who didn't take what was shown tonight and convert it into something you use in your shop? Who? You'd be all by yourself because all the rest of us do that.
Eddie?
Yes, sir. Hey, Dennis.
Yeah, I got a question. I got a small burl here. I've never turned one. It was soaking wet. I cut it off last weekend. And it's pretty thin. It's like I said, I turned it wet. So I got to let it dry. And how do I finish it?
Stick it back on your lathe in your chuck, and then you can sand it with a drill. So you can actually lock your headstock, and then grab a drill with one of these little foam pads.
Hold on, we're gonna get you, Trace. Somebody's gonna add a spotlight to you.
I think that's Cade.
Cade, I'm sorry.
I use on Dennis on burl. I use spray finishes. I use either spray poly or spray lacquer, and then I do what Cade does. I have a quarter drill on my, like he's showing right there, a quarter drill on my lathe with a sanding mandrel in it, and that's the parts that I can sand. I sand, and the reason why I use spray is so that it gets in all the nooks and crannies of the burl.
So you're going to sand it. You're going to spray it first and then sand it?
Well, understand that in some of those finishes, like if I'm putting lacquer on, I'm doing 8 to 14 coats. So
Okay.
I'll do a couple of coats, let it cure, and then come back and sand it at 220 or 320, then do 2 more coats and come back at sand at 420, then another coat, sand at 500, another coat, sand at 600, and so on. Until I get the finish I like.
Right, so you're bringing out the depth in the finish.
Yep. And other people might do it different. You know, with a spray finish, it's not the same as hand applicating a liquid, you know, you're doing tongue oil or something like that, you do it different.
Okay, because the bottom
Yep,
of it,
I wouldn't sand it by power. I wouldn't put it on your lathe and start the lathe and try sanding it by hand, because with the irregularity of the rim and the wood will move slightly, it'll be like a fan
Right.
blade. So I would lock your tail stock and sand it by hand, either by hand power, but you can get a drill. You can get these sanding arbors, and then they get foam pads on the end. They have different hardnesses and softnesses. Firmness, yeah, there's the word I was looking for. I had a brain fart. But so you can get those. You can get them at many wood turning stores. You can even get them on Amazon. One thing I've done is I've made them. So if you take a piece of wood or a piece of plywood, mount it on the lathe, turn it round, take an old drill bit, drill the hole, epoxy that drill bit in the sacrificial piece of wood, face that piece of wood. You can buy some of those foam mats, those exercise mats from Walmart or Target or somewhere. And then you can use like a rubber adhesive. You stick that to the wood, then you buy your Velcro. And I mean, you'll have sanding arbors for a lifetime, because you'll basically buy the glue and the Velcro, and that will make you hundreds of these arbors that you can make in many different sizes. Because if you're constantly buying them, the heat of the sanding eventually affects the rubber or the foam or the Velcro. So it's a constant consumable if you buy the commercial ones. If you make them, they're that much more affordable. And then I actually cut my sanding discs myself too. I buy the 3-inch rolls with the paper back, and I actually take an old disc, I put it on there, I draw the circle, I cut them out while I'm watching the hockey team lose. And I mean, I got cutting discs for a fraction of the cost as well. So you can go that route. And I would definitely do this. It's a lot quicker. And by the spinning of the drill, you don't see the sanding marks because of the circular oscillation of the drill bit. You just got to be really careful when you get to the rim or the edge of that bark. If you kiss it, it's going to throw the sanding disc across that bark, and you'll have a cool little groove in that. I mean, if it's live edge, you could stain it, color it, texture it to make it look like bark to hide your mistake. But there's that possibility that could happen. And like Matt said, sometimes I do sand with oils or finishes. If I sand with finishes, I usually wet sand, because it lubricates the wood and it sands that much quicker than hard kiln dried or air dried wood. The only thing is you sacrifice sandpaper for time, but you also benefit your lungs because there's less airborne dust in the air. With the heavy dust, with wet sanding, it just settles and falls to the floor. So it's a catch-22. Do you want more airborne dust in your shop, have to wear a respirator, sand longer, or sand less airborne dust in your shop, your home, stuff like that. So many different options. Everyone knows.
When you're working with burl, you got to be really careful with how you power sand on the lathe, because if you're power sanding and the lathe is moving, the sandpaper would tend to curl the edges of the uneven edges of the burl, and you don't want that. You want them crisp. So not having the piece moving and being able to gently control where the sandpaper moves across the surface, you know, so your surface is like this and your sandpaper is moving square to the surface, so it doesn't curl around any edges and round them off.
Right.
That gives them a better shape to your my hat's all messed up. A better shape to your piece. You don't curl over the edges of the burl and so on. So
Yeah, I want to be gentle with it because the bottom, you can see the bark is going through the center, and I don't want it to split apart. So, and it's over right here, it's pretty thin. So
yeah, and once I've got 4 coats of finish, I don't power sand anymore. I'm hand sanding because you're only lightly going over the finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dennis, what I do with those is I power sand them like Matt and Kate are telling you to do. Then I take it off the lathe and leave it in the truck, put a bag over my truck, and I pour tung oil right inside of the bowl itself and use an old t-shirt to move it around, let it sit in there for a while and let it soak in, and then wipe out the excess and let it sit overnight and do the same thing the next day till I get 3 or 4 coats, and then I lightly sand it and buff it again and keep doing that till the inside is finished. And then the outside, I just hand wipe it on.
okay. And like I said, it's still a little wet. So should I let it dry completely?
Yeah.
I do it wet, just like you got it now. I just put it back in the truck.
Okay.
So you can sand it. All you're doing is holding it with the truck so you can sand it later.
Right. No, I understand that. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, we have another gavel lined up. Doug, do you see it? Hawkins just signed in. Howard King
Okay.
just signed in. He's got something.
Hey. Meeting's about over, isn't it?
There you go.
Okay, meeting's about over, I guess, is
just about.
I had a white oak tree blew over, and so I cut it up in some chunks and things. So this is white oak, and it fallen in the sapwood, and so anyway.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Very nice.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Gorgeous.
So I thought I'd do like birdhouse Bob and make me a birdhouse.
There you go.
There with the roof.
There you go.
That'd be a good one.
Or it could be a trench hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
And I could be a gnome.
Had the beard and everything gone. Yeah.
Yes.
But I need a fluffy thing up here on top, don't I?
You can put a propeller on the top.
There you go. Yeah.
What was that? What was that old band from back in the day? Devo or D something?
Do what?
There was an old band back in the day, and they had like a really cone Lego type hat similar to that. I forget what it was. It was an old. It was before my time, but I knew I had.
Yeah, they look like lampshade. It was Devo.
Hey,
yeah,
Ted.
Devo.
Hey,
Devo.
Hey, Kay. Most everything is before your age, older than you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just a youngin'.
You mean there was wood before your time?
Oh well. Okay.
I like it, man. That's really cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Joking about age, you got to consider, Kate. Most of our members were there when they made rocks. Yeah, just consider that.
No
trees, rocks. So I see Robert Clark's in the house tonight. Bob, I want to thank you for that screwdriver I did last week. I didn't know if you were in the box, but it's a beautiful piece. We talked about it last week. Wait. Talk about it.
Yes,
No, it's still right here. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
That's the he made for me. Nice kit.
Beautiful.
I was happy to do it.
And we were joking about it last week. I showed it to my wife, and she says, "Yeah, you got the plus. What do you do if you got you got the negative? What do you do if you need a positive?" I didn't want to tell her there's 8 tips here. I just got to leave it alone. There's a lady that didn't get the map app. When I used to go to retail stores, I can walk around the Walmart parking lot. I could go around the whole parking lot with her because she has no idea where we parked at. No idea at all. And not that I would do that because that would be cruel.
Oh, even
I
cars
just,
have car alarms now. You can just press the little button and your alarm goes off so you can find your car.
yeah. There was a gas station by the house that was giving away these little orange balls for you to put on your antenna. So you could pick out your car. Everybody had a little orange ball. What did that do for you?
Yeah.
And a antenna, we all had a little notch on the roof. Nobody's got a wire somebody, but that little notch on the roof, which will break off of you at a tree branch. All right, we've had a great evening tonight. Really great evening. I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you to please invite your friends, invite your club, send us your newsletter, join in our gallery challenges. Be part of this club. Be proud of this club because we're doing just what we're supposed to be doing. Sitting on a tailgate, talking about wood turning. And you, your friends, your family, you're all invited to come back each and every week. Trace will keep the line open, keep the program on. But formally, we pull the plug at 9 p.m. Central Time. Until I see you next week, I got to be right like Sue says. And I got the names right this time. Sue says, be safe. That's not Sue. Be safe, okay? And I'll see you next week.